Welcome everyone to, well, what was spoiler warning usually during the weekdays and weekends, but today we have ourselves a good old-fashioned watch party. It is Survivor Series, it is time, and my word, am I excited for this one. It feels like it's been forever since I've joined you for a watch party. Well, here we are to enjoy it all over again. We are live on two platforms once again. We are live both on TikTok, welcome Amy, and we're also live on YouTube for the good old-fashioned insanity that is a watch party. Watch parties, it's been a while. They are long, they are intense, and there's a lot of things happening in them. It is a busy time. We've got quite a bit that we'll be getting on with today, primarily Survivor Series. That's the main thing that we're going to be working on today because, to be fair, what else do you need to work on when it's a Survivor Series watch party? But also, we still have our predictions, we still have our spoilers, and we still have a lot of fun to be had. We will be opening with the Women's Wargames match, and I'm very excited for it. I do apologise, I'm a little late with some of my setup here, so I am still working on certain things. For example, some of you may have spotted that I haven't put size actual watch along overlay on the YouTube one yet, but I'm working on that as we speak. Welcome sizes, evening all, excited to join you guys for a big show and stream tonight, and it should indeed be quite a big one. Let me just sort this out while I'm doing it. Welcome, so many people joining on TikTok. All right, I just liked my own thing, I didn't even know that was a thing. That is a long list of people joining. Amy, welcome. KJ, welcome. Mustafa Gaming, welcome. Henry, welcome. H, welcome. 5 dots, but many, welcome. DJ, welcome. Calvi as well. Bot, Mads, welcome everyone. Welcome Drags, welcome MUFC, welcome user 76328111775. Welcome Rye, welcome Copy, welcome TJ, welcome Thomas Burton as well. Plenty of people already flying in on that side while I'm just fixing a bit of the, now I did say that, what's it called? It begins with an S. Begins with an S. 2024, there's the badger. And there we go, we have ourselves an overlay. Thank you kindly, Sai, for the setup there. Plenty of people dropping in and dropping out on the TikTok side. We do, and I learned this recently, we do have a system on TikTok where there are layers of, how best to describe this? Layers of tiers. There are tiers that you can reach when it comes to what's going on with TikTok. So for example, you start off in the D5 tier, work your way up to the D1 tier, and then move up to the C5 tier. So these things can be difficult, these things can be quick, but it's TikTok, and hopefully things continue to succeed. I'm very happy about how well things are going at the moment. Lots of people joining that we'll see because we're on the, welcome Jess. We are of course on the For You page now. We'll see how many people we can convince to stick around. On the YouTube side, we already have 11 people here, 10 likes. Please do continue to hit that thumbs up. Sid says Matt Riddle showed up at TNA Turning Point to replace Trey Miguel, who has travel issues in the tag team match. I don't get the Matt Riddle love. I don't understand the Matt Riddle love. Oh, thank you very much, Jess. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Callum, as well. Lots of love in the chat already. Callum says, I hope Sheamus wins tonight. Sheamus very close to hitting the Grand Slam with an Intercontinental Championship win as well. Jess says, hi. Welcome, Jess. Yeah, the Matt Riddle thing confuses me. I don't understand why in 2024 people care about him. I don't know how else to describe it. I just don't understand why people care about him. Marcel says, hi Tom and chat, how are you all? I'm doing very well, thank you Marcel. Please everyone, let Marcel know how you're doing. Dom says, don't forget to hit the like button. What's up Tom and chat? Welcome, welcome Dom. So he said, have you ever fallen asleep on a watch party? I have not. Though what I will say is there was a SmackDown watch party where I had come back from a party, thought to myself, oh, well, it's time to watch SmackDown, turned it on, turned on my live, and then thought, I don't feel very well. So there is one watch party I've becked off for being sick, but that is all. And that's despite knowing that there was the first Survivor Series watch party we did, where, to be honest, I made some mistakes. I made some big mistakes. Andrew says, ever since they added Wargames, Survivor Series will always be a favourite pay-per-view of mine. I do think there's a risk to it that much like Hell in a Cell became very obvious and very repetitive, knowing that Wargames will always be on Survivor Series brings with it a certain element of risk. An element of risk that we can't really avoid. Thank you once again, Jess. Appreciate it. Says, can't wait for Roman to not match his team tonight. Yeah, Roman tends not to match up with what's going on around him. It's unnerving. It's unnerving. Okay, so apparently in League D4, I'm currently 81st. I don't know how this works, but it's apparently based on likes. So the main reason I shot up so much yesterday is, of course, Jess. Thank you once again, Jess. And as Mummy says, I'm old school, TikTok confuses me. Confuses me as well, to be fair. I'm trying to work out the TikTok business, but I'm not brilliant at it. This is my first watch party on TikTok. A lot of people coming in, nobody seemingly convinced to stick around, to tell you that, but that's okay. This is how this works. We'll see if people are interested in a Survivor Series watch party. A 3-hour show, there's gonna be some rotation. I ain't gonna be judging anyone for finding other things that they are more intrigued by. Of course, if they stick around, they'll see a lot of stuff that they should hopefully enjoy. They'll be able to see my other videos where there's behind the scenes stuff, there's backstage stuff, there is exclusive news as well that hopefully people enjoy. Before you know it, we be growing. Welcome, Elliot. Good to see you. Thank you, Joe, as always, for saying hi to everyone. Sid says fans were chanting Matt Riddle's name. I wish they wouldn't. And Aged Car says hi, Tom. Welcome, Aged Car. Survivor Series has now kicked off. We are getting going. We had an America the Beautiful. Is that the one? America There's Something. We had an America There's Something. We also are doing something on Blue Sky today, where we've just launched a new starter pack. If you want to be in that starter pack, check out my pinned post, and we can make that happen. So we have just said Anfo82. So I'm going to add Anfo82, who's just done exactly that. Anfo82, there he be, he's added to the starter pack. If you are following, if you repost, and if you reply, we will make sure this happens. You're in. Welcome. They are running through the rules of Wargames, which most of us will know by now, but it usually takes a little time to remind everyone on the WWE side. With the Royal Rumble, before a Royal Rumble event, they always make sure that they remind everyone how the Royal Rumble works, as we know. Leon says, hi Tom, hope you're doing well. Doing very well, thank you, Leon. Welcome to the show. And Sai says, hot take, terrible prediction for this match. Tiffany cashes in. Even better if she does it in the mini cage. They have to wait around in. Oh, I did not even consider that. I considered the cash-in. I'm surprised by this. I thought Bianca Belair would be the first one in the ring. Though I suppose you have quite a collection of people. I don't think Rhea Ripley will be first one in. I think she'll be last. I suspect then that Bayley opens the affair. Bianca Belair, for those that don't know, creates all of her own gear. Always different, always unique. And it says, I'm hoping Tiffy cashes in. I can see a heel turn somewhere to help her. I mean, depends who the heel is, really. I think we've got a good collection of people there already who can certainly make things happen. But when it comes to Tiffany Stratton, I mean, is it not a face move to cash in on Nia Jax? Is it not a face move to cash in on Liv Morgan? I could see at the end of this match, Nia Jax trying to get Tiffany Stratton to cash in on Liv Morgan. And then as an end result, Nia Jax is the one who loses the championship. Not sure how it's going to go, but I'm interested in it. Oh, Leon suggesting Io Sky. Naomi now joining the cage as well. The watch parties, I try to add alternative commentary, but I'm not one of those viewers who just sits and screams. I'm not going to be that person. I'm not going to host that watch party, just so everyone's aware. That does not really fit what I'm going for. What I will be doing is sharing a lot of backstage stuff, a lot of spoilers, and a lot of little tidbits that you maybe don't hear anywhere else. So I said, second time Bianca has sung along the one line of her music, I never need you at all. Could be a reference, of course, to Jade Cargill. If you see me looking over there, that's because that's where my TV screen is. As watch parties go, one of the things I have to do is watch. Is she a unicorn? I think Naomi's a unicorn. Leon likes the style. Welcome, Connor, on the TikTok side. Joe, don't you worry about it. So it's an honor to be Team Tom. I appreciate all of you who are here and are watching. Even if on the TikTok side you're just dipping in and dipping out, I very much welcome you for it. Jess says, Naomi in the birthday hat. That makes sense. That makes a lot more sense. Okay, so TikTok is keeping me abridged of the whole whether I'm a popular live thing. Jess, once again, thank you very kindly. And I can see that I think I'm at about 100th in D4, but apparently that's still top 10, which is not a bad place. Rhea Ripley seems like she might actually be the first one in because she's the last one being introduced. Bayley on the way down. It's a far cry from her championship reign, but I do... Is that... That can't be Dan Reed. That looks like Dan Reed. That looks like Dan Reed. It can't be Dan Reed. Cannot be. Juan says, hey Tom, can't wait for the Saturday watch party. Also for some Mercedes money wanting the AEW women's title as well. I think it's very good for the championship. I don't think she'll be winning it. I think the TBS championship has very much benefited from its association with her. And I'd like to keep that going. Is Rhea wearing a mask? Oh my god. Well, we knew she'd be wearing a mask. We didn't know she'd be wearing that mask. That looks incredibly well padded, and my word, oh my god. Okay. That's very Borderlands. And I'm going to post that. Rhea Ripley looking incredibly Borderlands in that face mask. She does look like she's going to start. No, Bayley is starting. Okay, Bayley is starting. I did expect Rhea Ripley to be the last one in the ring because of her injury. I stand by that. Good to see Bayley starting there. Bianca looks set to be next one in. She's chomping at the bit. Also doesn't seem to like the cage concept. Doesn't seem to be loving the whole cage business. There is, fun fact for everyone, there is a trick to Wargames cages. In case anyone is claustrophobic or in case there is a problem with the lock, there is a breakaway bar. There is a bar you can actually take out at the back that can let you out in case of emergency. Just a little tidbit there, little tidbit. Jess says, I'm not going to go on Twitter because I know everyone's going to be crying about gears not matching. I am not going on Twitter for this one. I've transferred almost entirely to Blue Sky. I have not looked back. I do think it's one of the best things I've done. One says, what drinks are on the menu tonight? Coke or lemonade? Orange Fanta. Good old-fashioned orange Fanta. Nia Jax should be amazing in Wargames. She should really suit what's happening here. Also, I do think it doesn't make sense that the faces get locked in a cage and then the heels start coming out. Nia Jax could flip that cage. Nia Jax could 100% just flip that cage. Go full Braun Strowman and flip it. I'd support it. That probably doesn't surprise anyone. But she could. It'd make Raquel Rodriguez look very strong as well. There would be ways to do it. Poison Pixie herself. And as Mommy says, you are the only wrestling news you follow here in our home. The GOAT. Thank you, Ernest Mommy. Joe says, do you think there'll be any returns at Wargames? No, I think the only real quote-unquote surprises will be kind of expected surprises like the Seth Rollins run-in or probably Finn Balor for Damian Priest. Kai says, have you got any snacks to eat? I've got Hershey's cookies and cream chocolate to eat. I do not. I'm not... I've become comfortable with drinking on stream. Took a little while. I'm not comfortable with eating on stream. I will say I do have a very different sort of vibe on the watch parties than I do on Spoiler Warning. Spoiler Warning, as you all know, is my news show. So my focus during Spoiler Warning is, here is the news, here is what you need to know. It's very bullet pointy. It's not the same for a watch party because, you know, stuff to do. Orange Fanta. Stop it. Dom says the mask looks like the Undertaker one with more details. Kinda sick. David Bennett is drinking orange Fanta as well. Here comes... Raquel Rodriguez does not get her own entrance More importantly, here comes Liv Morgan, who is matching with Raquel Rodriguez in black and white. Liv Morgan very much came into her own in the last couple of months. Her return at the Royal Rumble really did change who she was. She knew she was coming in to create some carnage. David, I don't really objectify like that. I think the women in wrestling historically work more on their appearance because they kind of have to because of societal pressures. And I do think maybe the men could learn a thing or two. I think Seth Rollins always have interesting attire, for example. I think he's learned that from the women in WWE. They're also much better at advertising. Bayley and Nia Jax starting. Naturally, Nia Jax won her championship from Bayley. Steve says, is the show live? Yes, it is. Nia Jax. Survivor Series started 15 minutes ago. In that time, I've had the intros. We are already kicking off a War Games match as we speak. Dom says, the horns are going to hurt unless they're soft material of one headbutt from Rhea tonight. Yeah, they're grips. They're designed to be soft grips. If she gets headbutted, Nia Jax likes to headbutt, for example, it won't hurt. It's very heavily padded to sort of protect her. Early botches there, small botches. While they're jockeying for position, Nia Jax not really knowing if Bayley wants her to hit her or not. Just miscommunication there. A lot of miscommunication. You've got to work this out, guys. You know how to wrestle. You know what you're doing. Juan says, sex appeal draw the chronometric that Brandon Thurston presented one time. Don't know if I agree with that. Historically, that is the case. And I ain't going to really argue with that. But what I will say is that sex appeal isn't just a female trait. Have you seen Kota Ibushi? That's all I'm going to say. Sid says, do you think referee Charles Robinson is a legend? I do. Lil Nate? Yeah, he's got his moments. He absolutely has his moments. Big Boss suggests Survivor Series was taped a week ago. I mean, imagine trying to hide those spoilers. Joe says, are you looking forward to the main event? Looking forward to the whole show, mate. Looking forward to the whole show. Okay, so we're in the middle of the two rings now. The advantage is with the faces. So Nia Jax is essentially signed up to get beaten up a lot today. Cameraman got a bit too close there. You always run a risk. Cameraman is in an awful position. You should not be in between. No cameraman should be in between the two rings. It's a bad call. Dom says, will there be a Saturday Night Live watch party? Depends if there's a Saturday Night Live to watch. I mean, I hear it's on the WWE Network, so I'm interested. I don't see a downside to it. Depends what I'm doing on the day, really. Real does depend what we're doing on the day. Big Boss is upset that there's still no Wire 6 on PLEs. What would they do in this show, to be honest? There's no real area where they'd fit naturally for me. So I said, I feel like I've seen these two miscommunicate with each other plenty before. Weird quirk between them. It's fair. Some people don't automatically have chemistry. Some people just don't. And it shows. You remember the Shotzi versus Ronda Rousey match? There was just a lack of chemistry there as well. It sometimes takes time to build that chemistry. Joe says, did you see The Rock was on his premiere tour advertising Moana 2? Yes, I did. Bayley unhappy with attire, makes some late changes, and attacks Nia Jax. I don't think that fabric's going to hurt. Kind of like a weight belt. Yeah, counter it. Counter it. For anyone who hears the ripping, I rip paper, I'm OCD, I do apologise for it. Again, it's clothing. It's not a big deal. Let's all calm down. Ron says, hey Tom, how come Vince always relies on shock value debuts for pay-per-views but not H? Gets the internet talking. I'd love to say there's more to it. There isn't. It gets the internet talking. That's all I can really say on it. Oh God, that's... There was a point at which Nia Jax became very butt-based offense. Awkward for everyone involved. I'm also, of course, hosting on a number of platforms today, just as a recap for you. We are currently live on both YouTube and TikTok. We're trying TikTok for a longer form video. We'll see if this works for the medium. Spoiler warning might be the better bet, but we'll see how that plays out. Watch parties generally is a lot more competition, so it's more difficult to find the audience essentially. But we'll see, because we may end up with a much bigger area. We're also on Blue Sky at the moment, trying to continue the build there. Lots of engagement, lots of chat. Everyone seems to be enjoying it. Thank you, Sai, as always, for engaging there as well. I've just launched a starter pack, so if you're interested in that, let me know. But for the moment, we are very much focused on what's happening next. The cameraman went way too close to the referee there. He's just been giving Bayley the time. Nia Jax looking good, primarily because someone else is about to come in, and even the score. This is the last point until everyone's in the ring that Nia Jax will look this powerful. Welcome, Emma. Naomi tagging in. This is someone that there are a lot of suspicions being cast on for Jade Cargill. For that attack, Naomi's going for the weaponry, which is a face move if ever I've heard one. Nia Jax just waiting. Kendo stick, you could have done better. Oh, it's a glow kendo stick. He's called her Tiffany. Michael Cole just called her Tiffany. And Nia Jax just stood there and let herself get hit. That is a toilet seat. Why is there a toilet seat in the ring? Also, when did Diablo 4 become a sponsor? Good shout, Diablo 4. Kai says, I cried when I got an email saying WWE Network is shutting down. I love WWE Network, watching it every day. Most of the content planned. Guys, you've got to stop. You've got to stop asking me to co-host with you. I'm not going to. This is my show. Especially when some of you are definitely bots. I need to find out how to change that option. I really do. Anyway, that seems to be a toilet seat, which is very confusing. Naomi, as we know, is one of the people under suspicion for the Jade Cargill attack. I personally have more of an eye on Bianca Belair, but we'll see how it actually plays out. A big match at WrestleMania was originally planned between Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. We could well see Naomi added to that match. Naomi with a crotch attack. Bayley now recovered. We are building to someone else coming in. Logically, I'd imagine Tiffany Stratton will be the next one in as the most prominent ally of Nia Jax. Big Boss says, White 6 versus Final Testament traditional Survivor Series match or street fight? Which match would you drop, Big Boss? I'm interested. Joe says, Kai, just think when WWE comes to Netflix, it's going to be amazing. There is going to be every single event on Netflix. I already paid for Netflix. Now I don't have to because I'll use it as a business expense. She's really enjoying that toilet seat. Nia Jax still looking good. Pleasantly surprised. Dom says that was a hard head shot. And Sid was watching Indy Hartwell's new YouTube channel. Says it's awesome. Fair play. Bayley, and I quote, exploding out of the corner. It's a phrase you hear a lot in WWE. Naomi attacking Nia Jax with a toilet seat. I don't understand what's happening. I don't understand what's happening there. Are they going to put it on her head? Oh, I see. It's... Do you remember what I said about Nia Jax's butt-based offense? Turns out Naomi too. One says, Dave Meltzer is now backtracking on his Jade Cargill injury report. I wish he wouldn't report anything. At this point, he's wrong for the most part. I can confirm there is a minor injury to Jade Cargill. Anyone saying she'll be out until WrestleMania is simply wrong. Out until the end of the year is simply wrong. She will be wrestling... Oh, she did not get the rotation there, Nia Jax. It is Tiffany Stratton who's going to be coming. It's not. It's going to be Candice LeRae. Awkward. Tiffany's not happy about it. I can confirm there has been some injury to Jade Cargill, but it was only a relatively minor one, and it is storyline, the who attacked her business naturally. I expect her to be out for a few weeks recovering, which is what I reported on yesterday. Spoiler warning. Candice LeRae is going for more weaponry. She's not at the moment in the ring, though Nia Jax is basically handling business on her own. Nia Jax is not swinging wildly. Naomi did not understand there that you're supposed to present your back to a chair shot. You're not supposed to present your head. Nia Jax is not allowed to hit you in the chair with a head. In the chair with a head. In the head of a chair. So Candice LeRae is now in the ring and suddenly it's not quite working to their benefit. Sai says a toilet seat stink face in a cage match is the most Vince McMahon thing I've seen in months. Yeah. The second you had a toilet seat, it goes straight down the drain. Nia Jax still being presented as a dominant force. You may suggest use the unstoppable force. Bayley says Rhea is the last entrant, correct? I expect Rhea Ripley to be the last entrant in on the face side. There will be one more person on the heel side, which I'd imagine will be Raquel Rodriguez. Possibly Liv Morgan, I suppose, actually. Tiffany logically will be the next one in. So possibly Liv Morgan, actually, with Raquel Rodriguez coming in ahead of time. That would still mean Raquel Rodriguez and Rhea Ripley get a stare down. That's the plan. They want to make sure that Rhea and Raquel continue to build a feud towards between them. We are nearly half an hour through Survivor Series, a show that's only expected to go for about 2.5 hours. So we're about a fifth of the way through. And yeah, these entrances took some time. Nearly up to our next entrant, which I'm expecting to be Io. Io will be the high flyer. She will look at her best when there's not many people in the ring. That's the best thing they can do to make sure she looks good. That said, they're definitely doing more than they normally do to ensure that everyone gets a moment here. A rarity, but we're getting there. Bayley on her back, on the chairs. Candice LeRae kind of missed. She doesn't look happy. She does not look happy with herself. She very much missed that moonsault. It looked great. Oh, looks like Bianca actually. Bianca Belair heading into the ring. Powerhouse, probably the natural antithesis to Nia Jax. She's looking under the ring for something. Trash cans? Why not? Wargames, throwing some trash cans. Throws it straight at Nia's face. I always appreciate that. Slams the door on Candice LeRae. That should even the playing field. She's going for the fire extinguisher. She very carefully places in the ring. Very carefully. Juan says, were you a fan of the Victoria versus Lita rivalry back in 2004? Can't say that I watched it. I wasn't watching at that point. I came back to wrestling in 2014. Came into wrestling journalism in 2016. Been there ever since. We have tables, people cheering for Bianca Belair. Naomi helping her get it in the ring. It's not impossible that Jade Cargill could be involved. She is on site. She is there, so I'd be interested to see if they do anything with her. We've lost Bianca underneath the ring. I suspect she might just stay outside playing support. No, I'm completely wrong. She's already in the ring. She could have stayed outside playing support. It would have been funny. Bit of confusion with Candice LeRae there. She did not want to go into the corner near the cage door. Probably too much stuff behind her for an electric chair. Yeah, too much stuff behind her. I get that. Can it's not a great place for a cameraman, but also, where's a good place for a cameraman? They kind of have to stand there. I'm kind of changing my own mind about it. Bianca Belair planning a moonsault with a chair. It's sloppy, this. Don't get me wrong, Bianca looks good, but The pause between moves is just, it's sloppy. Candice LeRae's sell on her face, though, was very good. Only a minute left until the heels get some more support, which I'd imagine this time will be Tiffany Stratton. I don't know, maybe this is the moment at which they continue with it. Candice LeRae pushing in front of her first, Raquel Rodriguez pushing in front of her second. Everybody underestimates Tiffany Stratton. At a risk to live, certainly. Kai says, I don't get WWE and Triple H. They signed Jade Cargill, when they could have signed Camille, who can wrestle good enough to be on the main roster. They didn't want Camille, they wanted Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill was relatively cheap, and she was a big pickup from AEW, who are using her very well. Just as I think, Tom, it's going to feel amazing. It is Tiffany Stratton this time getting involved. It's going to feel amazing seeing Raw, SmackDown, all of that on Netflix. It's going to be amazing to see John Cena on Netflix. Well, I mean, if you can see him, I can't see him. Tiffany Stratton playing up to the crowd in the black and white. I respect the theme that they've all joined in on. The heels are all dressed to match. It's very nice. All in black and white because their motivations are black and white. That was better. That was much better by Bianca Belair, especially with the fact that she got hit afterwards. Bayley says Tiffany can't cash in without the briefcase. It's not with her. Nothing to say. It's not currently underneath one of the announce tables. There are ways and means. Tiffany with the Dana Brooke attack. Now going for a Boston Crab. Okay, we've now got 3 hosts inviting to co-host. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do it. Tiffany and Nia Jax celebrating in the ring. One says, speaking of Camille, her and Mercedes Money recently split this past Wednesday. Wonder where this will lead to. Logically, feud. Not much else to be said about it. The only logical option is a feud between the two. Naomi potentially in trouble now. Okay, I like that. I like that. Corey suggesting it's an instinctive pin when in reality it was a leg drop. I like that. It was very nicely played. Very good teamwork maneuvers here. Tiffany and Nia Jax working together brilliantly. I didn't realise how many sponsors were on that ring. They've not really gone into the second ring yet. It's still very much focused on that one. Nia Jax has taken Naomi into the second ring, literally, as I said it. Just too many people in there. We have another person on the face side coming in. Logically, this is going to be Io Sky. Anyone else would just be kind of confusing. Wouldn't make any sense to me, I'll tell you. Bayley holding her ankle. If you remember rightly, Randy Orton sold to hell when he was in Wargames last, which was not that long ago. Man had a serious back injury, apparently. Okay, not long until we get more people involved. I'm taking this moment to have a moment to look at the TikTok layout and just see how it looks when I am live. It's interesting. It's interesting. There's apples and roses and stuff, and I have no coins, so I don't really know what to do with them. Io Sky is on the way in, confirming Rhea Ripley will be the last one to join. Rhea Ripley will be the last one to join. She's once again looking for some weaponry. Can't seem to find it. Someone to the side of the announce table just pointed her in a direction. I see a trash can with some colour and some rope. Is she going to attach it to herself? She's going to attach it to herself so she can climb the cage more safely. Health and safety gone mad. Sid says, I would like to see the babyfaces beat up Nia, then Tiffany cashes in. Dom says, Jax and Tiffy next tag team champs. Certainly possible given the Jade Cargill situation. Joe Pierce says, oh my, the sponsors grew. Welcome, Joe. Good to see you, mate. And Sid says, I was happy WWE re-signed Natalya. Disappointed they don't use her that much. I've been a Natalya fan for a long time. They are heading, of course, to Canada shortly. And hopefully, they make use of Natalya once again. Usually she pops up during that period. It's rare that she doesn't. So he says there was something pink under the ring there. Not sure if it's a briefcase or not. Good spot. Of course, I did mention the Barbie briefcase, and it is very much on the way. Io went for a sunset flip powerbomb. Did not have a grip of Candice LeRae. She's laughing. She's laughing. So I guess they're going to have to call an audible here. Io with a drop kick? With a drop kick. I'd imagine that was supposed to be a sunset flip powerbomb. Instead they've had to sort of make it up on the fly, but it's worked out. Tiffany Stratton attacking Io Sky now. The trash can, I forgot because over here we could call it a bin. The trash can is still up top. So I don't think that's over just yet. See, we call that tremendous athleticism from Io Sky, but Eric and Ivar can do it too. It's a flip off. Io and Tiffany are flipping off. I like this. There's a clear focus, and I do feel Tiffany is deserving of it. And we're back to chairs. Tiffany at least knows to show you back. Big Boss says, so far, how was this match? Good. Some sloppy moments early on when people didn't seem to really know what they were doing, but now we've hit the spot fest element. It's starting to work out. Io Sky's addition, very much working for me. Nia Jax has looked amazing. She's been made to look like an absolute machine. Next in is either Liv Morgan or Raquel Rodriguez. Yeah, I thought so. Liv Morgan will be last in. Raquel Rodriguez is coming in first. Makes a face at Rhea Ripley first, naturally. Rhea Ripley's arrival in 3 minutes. She'll be going straight for Raquel, don't you worry about that. Raquel Rodriguez also going under the ring, looking for another table. Pulling it out but not using it. Jesus Christ, Rhea Ripley, calm yourself down. She's missed something. She's completely lost something. And the match has essentially stopped until she finds the thing that she's looking for. Oh, she's in the ring now. Guess she's not finding it. That's a nice fall-away slam over the ropes. Io Sky did land on the fire extinguisher, which is in the ring. It got there. Now, they've been making sure Nia Jax looks strong. Likely she's out of the picture at the moment, so that Raquel can now take over in that exact role. One of the reasons they've been separated for that long is so that Raquel Rodriguez gets a big moment when she comes in. Of course, that's going to be difficult, because even with Raquel in the ring, Nia Jax is still focused on making sure she is going to get over. Dom says, I see platforms on the corners of cages. Looks like a bunch of pop moves for Wargames tonight. Indeed the plan. I would imagine Jacob Fatu's coming off it. I would also look at Jay and Jimmy doing a double splash. Roman will probably stay on the floor. Also, the toilet seat's still in the ring. Sonic Free's a sponsor. I'm actually interested in the sponsors. This is weird. I don't like it and I don't trust it. Kai says, would you like to see Tiffany come out to Barbie Girl song by Aqua? No, I reckon she's got enough of a song, thank you very kindly. Sid says, Nia has improved a lot since returning to WWE. I completely agree with that. Powerbombs into the cage. Powerbombs into each other. Bit of force by Raquel Rodriguez. And yeah, quite rightly by Corey Graves called out the Super Collider. They're showing Raquel Rodriguez to be an equal of Nia Jax right now, which is interesting. The double powerbomb was out of sync, but it still looked damn good. Joe says, I'm looking forward to the Elimination Chamber. I am, Tom, because I think that's when John Cena's first big event is going to be. The Royal Rumble. We're expecting to see John Cena. Rhea Ripley is now on her way in. Despite the injury, she is working injured, to be clear. She was more than willing to get involved in Wargames. She's coming in late to protect her. There's a big 2-on-1 lined up. She needs some equalizers. I don't think the table is necessarily the right way to do that. Like if you throw that in the ring, all that's going to happen is that they're going to grab it. They're going to... That didn't happen. Not right on the jaw or the chin. Awkward. And now we have Rhea versus Nia. Just like that, what was a 2-on-1 ends with Rhea looking strong. Nia Jax is just not fighting her at all. Toilet seat on the back. Awkward. Io is about to dive in with a chair. Bayley told her not to. Maybe not her time yet. Okay, everyone's now getting involved. We've still got... Jesus Christ, Liv Morgan. Whoever the cameraman is needs to calm it the hell down. She looks a bit terrified to get in the ring. Not a surprise to me. Juan says, wondering if WWE will sponsor the new movie Wicked featuring Ariana Grande. They won't. And David says, I'm watching on TNT Box Office. I forgot that they were a thing. I'm still on the network, but not for much longer. I'll be on Netflix in no time. Oh, that's a broken toilet seat. Tiffany just took down Rhea. Io Sky picked a moment there. That's apparently the equalizing moment. So for some reason, they needed to make sure that Rhea was separated in this particular bit of carnage. That'll be interesting. We'll see how that plays out from here. Oh, that was a good chair to the face. That is how you do it. A bulldog on a toilet seat. Why is there a toilet seat, and why is it the focus of this match? Bayley says, is this the last PLE before Netflix? Unless you count Saturday Night Main Event, yes. The trash can is still up there. That's going to be used. That's not just going to be forgotten about. Plenty of match still to go, and Io Sky is going to be involved. Rhea Ripley is standing tall, looking at an invisible watch as Liv Morgan is about to head in. Rhea Ripley would quite like to get hold of Liv Morgan, and suddenly there is an opportunity. Nia Jax so far has done most of the work for the team. Liv Morgan, as you know, is not going to be the person to do that. She looks like she's going to run away. I think she's going to run away. She's running away. Technically... Oh, she got a baseball bat. Okay, she's not that scared then. She's just ready. Fair play. She's coming. The match can't technically start until she's in the ring. Sid, not watching a lot of Karate Kid. Don't really think I'll be that invested in it. Now, there's got to be something else about to happen. Where's Nia Jax? Actually, where's Raquel Rodriguez? Raquel Rodriguez is in position to do something crazy here. Standing right behind Rhea where the cameraman can't see her. Referee is now in the ring. We are now serious. Oh, Bianca Belair takes her out. Oh, she's taken off the mask. And Jesus Christ, she looks even better. Going for an immediate kill, but Nia Jax's not going to let it happen. Rhea was not ready for that. She crumpled there. She was not ready for that. So in many ways, with the protective mask off, we're now protecting Rhea by aiming for midsection and holding her in place. Rhea Ripley still very, very carefully covered here. They're going to avoid a lot of wrestling moves. There'll be no code breakers or anything like that. Not for Rhea Ripley. Candice LeRae have a good old-fashioned choke. Liv Morgan has handcuffs, and I'm not sure what to do with my life. And it's when we said they're pounding on her. Absolutely they are. So if Rhea Ripley is handcuffed, I don't know if she has been. She hasn't been. But a lot of the slow motion storytelling is happening of Rhea Ripley at the minute, which I do feel, again, another way of protecting her. There we go. Io Sky is getting involved. Again, we haven't seen the bin used yet. Trash can, I should say. Oh, Io Sky just got full on landed on. We are in the everyone get your crap in moment. Nice move from Raquel Rodriguez. Naomi with what has been the most prominent female finisher in any generation of wrestling. Liv Morgan with a code breaker to someone who can handle it. Kai says, if you can only watch one women's and men's wrestler for a month, who would you watch wrestle? Becky and Seth. Great wrestlers, very entertaining. I would watch them till the end of time. Of course, we can now do pins. Would Jade Cargill have added a lot to this match? I'm not sure. Certain individuals aren't really standing out. Candice LeRae, Bianca Belair. They've not really stood out so far. Tiffany Stratton's had a good couple of moments. Io Sky much the same. Nia Jax has been built strong. We've seen quite a lot of Naomi. So there's plenty who haven't really stood out at all. Oh, there we go. Io Sky going for a bin. Are we going to get double moonsault here? Or is Tiffany going to go first so that Io can put a bin on her head? Tiffany's waiting to see what Io's doing. Io's working out what to do with the chains. Chains are gone. Something crazy is about to happen. Camera's making sure not to focus on the ring. Is everyone ready? Everyone's just waiting for Tiffany Stratton, whereas with Io Sky, they're actually fighting still. I imagine Bayley's leading that group. She's just going to fall. She's just going to fall. She's just... No, she moonsaulted. She actually moonsaulted. Wow. You know, Pete, how you doing, mate? David says, who will take the pinfall? Depends who's winning it. I'm leaning towards Candice LeRae for the obvious choice, but if they want to get a big moment, the way they built Nia Jax, that would be a hell of a pin. She landed on her feet. Io Sky actually landed on her feet from the moonsault. Tiffany Stratton's looking for something. Is a briefcase in there? Her briefcase is in there. There is a Nia Jax down, there is a Liv Morgan down. I'd imagine this catching is not going to happen. They've overplayed it here. She's indecisive. And we have an angry Raquel Rodriguez. Not going to happen tonight then. Io Sky just literally jumping around with a fire extinguisher. I don't understand how that's supposed to do any damage to anyone. You're right, Sean, how you doing? Oh, okay. I don't know how that happened. I think she probably did it herself. But apparently Raquel is handcuffed. Nia Jax says no. Nia's looking for something. Giving some orders to Tiffany. Leon says, I'm kind of tired of the cash-in teases. When the moment comes, we want to be surprised by it, but we're waiting for it. No, Pete, nobody's a member at the moment. We are not monetized. I reached my goals, and I didn't want to charge anyone from there. It will be back in the new year. David says, I'm getting sick and tired of seeing JBL keeping interfering in the nickname of title matches. Interesting divergent. And Daniel says, hi Tom. Welcome Daniel, how you doing? Bianca Belair seems to be in control here for Candice LeRae. That is not the move I expected to see. Expected a powerbomb or something. But there's a table set up. People are being taken out here. Looks like Bianca hurt herself more than anything. That was a hell of a Samoan drop as well. Maybe Bianca Belair out as well. Nia Jax is making sure that Bianca Belair is out of action. Hey Tyler, how you doing, man? Bit of damage control there, which has not really been factored in yet. Are they going to have a hug it out moment? Are they going to have a hug it out moment? Nia Jax is going to make sure they do not have a hug it out moment. Nia Jax says no. Nia Jax says no has been a recurrent theme from Wargames today. Bianca Belair being whipped with her own hair. That's an interesting experience. On the table. Not quite close enough for an... Not quite close enough. I mean, you're going to have to jump pretty high. Naomi reacting, Bianca Belair reacting, because of course Nia Jax is going to be put through the table instead. If this happens, it's Nia Jax out of action, and it does indeed. She protected her head very nicely, and it's a good thing. Naomi going for the pin. Liv Morgan and a baseball bat says no. Sean says, do you think we see any returns tonight? No. I don't know who would return. There's no one I can think of who would return tonight and be a surprise. Sean said, how's your Saturday been, Tom? Busy. Quite busy. As part of my house renovations, I rewired a light socket today, which means I was working with live neutral and earth wires. And potentially, if I didn't do it carefully, blowing myself up. And while I'm not against blowing myself every now and then, I wouldn't necessarily fancy it as a end of life sort of situation. Thankfully, I actually made it work. Liv Morgan nearly had Bayley, but Rhea Ripley back in action. Raquel with the save. A code breaker with a chair that Rhea Ripley was holding. Puts her in a strong position. Daniel says, no Rock tonight, Tom. Next time the Rock's queued up to arrive that I'm aware of is the first show on Netflix. What I will say, though, is up until the day before, he wasn't expected to be a bad blood either, which is why we haven't seen him since. It's come down to Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. The two of them and a table. Can you get a Riptide up here? You can get an Oblivion up here, I'll tell you that. Morgan breaking the cage. She's trying. I suspect Liv Morgan might be going for your table here. Liv Morgan's going for the table here. Oh, lovely. Lovely. Rolled her off. Straight into a pin. 2, 3. Liv Morgan pinned by Rhea Ripley to win Wargames. Raquel Rodriguez can do nothing because of being handcuffed to the rope. Overall, nice. Still potential for more, particularly with Raquel Rodriguez still handcuffed. Tiffany Stratton's cash-in is still an option here. Particularly if Nia Jax is, shall we say, frustrated by Liv Morgan taking the loss here. Sean says Rhea must be cleared. Debatable, but she's working hard. Bayley says great finish. Sai rates the match a 6 out of 10. Says, for me, good spots, but messy. Io Sky humps Rhea Ripley in the middle of the ring with a lot of tongue. Joe gives it a 7 out of 10 for the first match. Dom gives it a 7 as well. I can see where you're coming from, Sai. I personally would give it a 7. There were some sloppy moments. The big spots were big, but I do think as they got into their rhythm, particularly about halfway through the entrances, I think they got there. And it works for me. I think they were inventive with some of their spots. I think Io Sky as an agent of chaos was good. I'm glad they weren't tempted to have Bayley and Io Sky hug. I'm glad that didn't happen. But overall, I'm not surprised by the finish. I expected the faces to win. And Rhea Ripley has got herself into a strong position for another championship match against Liv Morgan. I do think a Liv Morgan-Bayley feud would be very worthwhile, and hopefully that's something they visit properly in the future. For now, though, I do feel like we're just continuing with where we were. Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, till the end of time. Bayley gives the match a 7. Leon says, not to sound mean, but I'm glad that's over. It does sound mean, but you are entitled to your opinion. Raquel Rodriguez has gotten free. The faces celebrate on top of the cage, but Raquel Rodriguez is protecting Liv Morgan. I would not expect a cash-in anymore. LeRae, Stratton and Nia Jax checking in with each other on the far side. Yes, Pete, that was the first match. There are now going to be 3 championship matches before another Wargames match. Leon says they're going to drag the Rhea Liv feud out till Mania, aren't they? Yeah. Hey, at least Becky Lynch is coming back. Bayley says Rhea took the brunt of that table with her knees. She did. Rhea heavily protects herself and her opponents. It's one of the reasons she's so well trusted. She knows how to protect people and she does a very good job of it. Okay, why am I getting captures? Unable to verify. What's happening here? I've just had to verify on TikTok. I'm guessing to say that I'm still live. Don't know why, but we are where we are. Is even TikTok now concerned I'm a bot? Well, it's difficult. I had that with YouTube for a while. Thought I was a bot. Imagine that world. Horrible world it is. But I suppose we are technically approaching an hour live now on TikTok, so they just wanted to make sure I was still going. The first match did take an hour. I'd kind of expect the last match to take an hour as well. So these next 3 matches are going to have to be quick and short. I wouldn't imagine any of them are longer than 15 minutes. Dog Nice says, good evening, Tom. Hope you're well, pal. Doing very well, thank you. Given that you've put a Wrestling Days guy in your name there, and imagine you're focusing on Wrestling Days today. Hopefully he's doing well over there as well. So our first match is over. It was okay. It was solid. I'd say there was plenty enough to be enjoyable. But now we get to the standard matches. The kind of dull compared to Wargames matches. And hopefully they can be interesting enough to keep it going. I don't think you're advertising Dork Night. That's not what I was saying. You are welcome here. Don't you worry. Sean says, is it possible that Tiffany could cash in on Roxanne? It is. I don't think she will, but it is. I would imagine, given that they're still on a long shot of outside the arena, that right now they're still doing a lot of cleanup on the ring. LA Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura on the way next. And Michael Cole just said about Shinsuke Nakamura's new attitude. It's not a new attitude. He had the same attitude when he was facing off with Cody. There is nothing new or different about this Shinsuke Nakamura, unfortunately. Heading into our promo video while they continue to clean up the ring. Kaiser says, would you like to see Nia and Piper Niven as a tag team? Modern-day female version of the natural disasters. I don't think they would be. They don't really fit with the whole typhoon hurricane business. And they're not actually close to my knowledge. I don't think there's been any suggestion of a connection on TV, so I don't really see it. I also think in general, Piper Niven's more of a face than is immediately apparent, which I'm not angry about. Honestly, I'm kind of supportive of it. They're showing a lot of LA Knight and a lot of the crowd being very excited by LA Knight. I would debate slightly how realistic it is, because I've got to say, while LA Knight did explode onto the scene and he was for a long time very popular, I feel like that popularity is waning. I don't know if I can necessarily say why. I don't think I can necessarily say it's a bad thing per se. These things do have a way of equalizing themselves out. But I don't know. I think that popularity is waning a little bit now that he's actually won a championship. Which is not a great thing to say, and you guys know it's not something I necessarily want to say. But it is true. Let's say something about the Women's Wargames. Women's Wargames match started out clunky, but ended with plenty of carnage and damage. It didn't overstay its welcome, despite taking up the entire first hour, and the right team won. Only downside is that it looks like more Liv versus Rhea in the near future. I think this is a better version of Shinsuke Nakamura. I think he understands the assignment a little better. I don't think anything he's saying actually matches up to why he'd be feuding with LA Knight. I think there's something missing there. And that's disappointing to me, because I feel like there's so much more they could be doing with him. So much more they could be doing with him. I don't know. That said, I do like the new visuals. It is very New Japan. LA Knight went for the attack and got misted. Standard. We are now past the era of COVID, where you weren't allowed to do that. Now you can spit on people again. And Shinsuke Nakamura is taking full advantage of it. Could actually post that, because why not? Shinsuke Nakamura taking full advantage of the fact that WWE will let you spit on people again. Don't get me wrong, Jess, it's a fairly quiet stream. But as regards TikTok, I would expect that. I'm only just starting out. But I appreciate you dropping back in. Nakamura showing off with the attire and the new entrance. We've seen a bit of it, but it's nice to get a full and frank depiction. They're not moving the cages. The cages are staying. I thought I saw Ellie and I about to jump in, but it turns out it was just a cameraman. Jess says, can't believe Rhea and Io were just making babies in the ring after winning. Yeah, they seem to really be happy with each other. In a very, very obvious and tongueified way. Don't know what else I can say about it, really. Long entrance for Nakamura. WWE really can't afford that if this show's going to end on time. As much as I like the entrance, I would like to see Nakamura. The presentation's improved massively. The threat level is not there. he's still not a threat, despite the attire change. I am happy to see that they are recognising he's a former two-time United States champion. The man knows what he's doing. He's comfortable with this as a concept. Kai says, I would have liked to see WWE keep LA Knight's name as Eli Drake. Was far too late for that one. Carl, you alright, mate? So say, Tom, hope you and the family are well. Sorry for not being around, just life getting in the way. Don't need to be sorry, mate. Welcome to the show. But still been watching the content, think of some of the best work on the net. Appreciate you for that. Says, I liked the women's Wargames match, however I don't think Nia was suited to it. In my opinion, she should have been one of the last wrestlers in it. Possibly. I do feel like she carried a lot early on. I don't know how intentional that was, that was a plan, but I do feel like she carried a lot early on. She's a vital component, and without her, a lot of people wouldn't have looked good, I'll tell you that. And they're advertising energy drinks. Dom says, I just don't get why bring another stage of character for him to lose. I don't know, but I do feel like Shinsuke Nakamura has become the new Dolph Ziggler. Which sounds like an insult, and it also kind of is. They brought out the decibel level for LA Knight, and that was a mistake. Because that does not look good at all. They've not even gone halfway up. They expected that to explode, and it did not. WWE did LA Knight no favours with a decibel meter that didn't even approach halfway full. Shameful. Jess says, Nia did good. I think people are too critical of her work, especially this year. Also says LA and Shinsuke competing in a handsome man match. Well, WWE's full of them. As we said earlier, sex appeal isn't just a female trait. There are some very attractive men in wrestling as well. Cal says about Nia, she got better in the ring. And so I do wonder who's going to beat LA for the belt. I personally think a certain Samoan that loves Solo. I still think Andrade's got the opportunity, and I think that's why he did the favour for Shinsuke. To just make you think that moment won't come, but I do think Andrade is a good match for it. Dom says, I've already read that one. Bayley says the name's like Eli Drake owned by the wrestler or the promotion. Maybe NWA owns it. To my knowledge, it's not owned by either. It is currently available because TNA contracts don't act like that. But beyond that, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he'd want it at this point. After all, he did make a name in NXT as LA Knight, and he wouldn't necessarily want to drop it. So it says, I'm not a fan of Shinsuke Nakamura's new theme music. To be fair, you're not supposed to be. He is a bad guy. And Kervin says, the women's war game, deliver or not, Tom? I'd say it delivered. I'd say it stands up quite nicely against some of the war games matches we've seen in the past. So let's see what we've got here. Shinsuke Nakamura versus LA Knight. Lovely kick. Really pointed his toes. I am jealous. Bit of pacing. No real threat at the moment. A little bit of a mockery from LA Knight, which Nakamura can kick you. Cal says Shinsuke in his emo phase. I think LA Knight is popular, however, I do think he's getting a little stale, personally. I think the WWE banked on him maintaining a level of popularity, which isn't an automatic win. It's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed. And they need to respect him a little more. Kervin, MVP the women's war game with likely Nia Jax. She was the one who's made to look the strongest, and she was involved from the start to the end. Bayley says, small thing, but why didn't Tiffany cash in after Rhea laid out Liv? If she waits any longer, it's Austin Theory all over again. The reason she didn't cash in is because Raquel Rodriguez got free, and Raquel Rodriguez would protect her. Kel says, I think in some ways the title run was a few months too late. I agree. He was supposed to win the championship at WrestleMania. The original plan would have seen LA Knight defeat Logan Paul at WrestleMania, which would have meant that he walked away with that championship a lot sooner and could get into feuds a lot sooner. For anyone who's interested in the overlays on YouTube, Sai creates those for me, and I'm very appreciative of it. The use of Paul Heyman I found particularly impressive in this one. Just hovering on his own in the background somewhere. Very nice, very nice. Kervin, yes, Io Sky and Tiffany did something crazy. One of them you can definitely see what it is. The other one, not so much. What is a flare? I've got a little thing that says claim 1 flare, and it's gone. Was going to press it, but it's gone now. There is a very happy child in the corner of the audience there, watching LA Knight's face get thrown into a barricade. I think it's a child because I'm pretty sure it just drank a beer and tried to dab. I think it tried to dab. So yeah, weird, probably child. So far, a lot of strikes, very little wrestling. I don't love LA Knight style. I think it's a bit too slow motion, a bit too slow paced for me. But if they've got the double ring, they should surely take advantage of it. Nice elbow drop there. Classic moves. Cal says, I personally think OG Bloodline win. Whoever has Roman picks the... However, as Roman picks the Ula follow up, bang, the Rock's music hits and he gets hit with the Rock bottom. I don't see how that will build towards his match with Cody at WrestleMania between The Rock and Cody. But also very much undermines Solo. Leon says, does WWE have interest in signing Penta, but as a singles wrestler? Yeah. Pentagon Jr. would essentially replace Shinsuke Nakamura when his contract expires. WWE are concerned that Shinsuke Nakamura doesn't want to stick around for much longer. And they're not necessarily wrong. Nakamura's keeping the pace relatively slow. He doesn't really have to. LA Knight will do that for him. Still a lot of strikes. Considering they don't have long to deliver these matches, I don't think they're necessarily delivering in these matches either. I definitely think they could be doing more with this. Leon says, I think he's happy in WWE wrestling a slower paced style, focusing on the character stuff and making bank, which is fair. There's a number of wrestlers in that position at the moment. I got that, Leon, referring to Shinsuke. There's a number of wrestlers in that position at the moment. They're not necessarily pushing for more. Rich Holland, for example, I think is a perfect example of it. He doesn't necessarily want more than he has. He's making enough money. He's not overly exposed. If he does make a mistake, then there ain't that many people watching him or caring about him making that mistake. And if his contract does expire or he gets released, he's made quite a lot of money and made a name for himself, so he'll definitely find another job somewhere. Lovely move by LA Knight there. Nakamura gave the game away by looking at the referee there. It is indeed a version of a burning hammer. Nicely contained. Welcome, Lady Flop TV. Welcome to the show. Cal says also, Tom, I have to say I'm loving the Y6 and the Final Testament and the Miz at the minute. They are building perfectly. I do wonder when the Wyatts will strike back, hopefully this Monday. I mean, this Monday Night Raw will kick off a brand new phase of WWE. After all, after Survivor Series, they start building straight to the Royal Rumble. I know we've got Saturday Night Main Event, but the Royal Rumble is where their focus is. LA Knight did not get the big jump that he was looking for, but he adapted to it. I don't understand how Nakamura would be in someone's head. I don't get this whole thing in wrestling. This person's in your head. Why? Because they want a championship. So does everybody else. So does everybody else. Sid says, did you ever have a wrestling match as a kid? I did. I gave my brother a suplex and broke my bed. I had a lot of wrestling matches as a kid. I had a lot of wrestling matches in primary school when I was year 5. I then started refereeing a lot of wrestling matches. But the awkward thing about refereeing wrestling matches is people tend to give you choke slams, and I eventually just got annoyed. Top rope exploder suplex. That was lovely. LA Knight again. Relaxed his face to keep an eye there on the referee. It's brave by LA Knight. He got perfect rotation. Perfect rotation. Bayley says Shinsuke is 44, so if the salary works for him, he's probably okay with it. He's also been in the WWE for a long time now. I believe it's 8 years this year. I do find, particularly with New Japan wrestlers, they enjoy the wrestling in New Japan, they come over here and make a load of money, and they retire. I would suggest that Kazuchika Okada is doing the same thing in AEW at the moment. Very nice elbow drop. I like the hop there. LA Knight, good control. The quality of wrestling has definitely improved in the last 5 minutes. Kel says, if Roman wasn't in LA Knight's head, why would Shinsuke? He's a stubborn man, LA Knight. I don't understand why anybody would be in his head. He's pugnacious. Pugnacious. Just going to throw the word pugnacious out there, because why not? Knight and Nakamura now in between the rings. Where I'd imagine at some point, even though he's not wrestling tonight, Kevin Owens will powerbomb someone. You might suggest it's the hardest part of the ring. To be clear, that is steel, by the way. I'd love to be able to say, oh, it's just painted cushion or something like that. No, it's actually steel. And it's hard. Like, it won't have hurt LA Knight's head because he had it tucked in, but it will have hurt his back. He's used to taking back bumps, so he's enjoying it. Bombier to the back of the head. That's a win. Well, clean as anything. Just as I think my stream is like 30 seconds ahead of yours, it must be because something just happened. Something did just happen. You're absolutely right. I did not see that one coming, I tell you that. Shinsuke Nakamura beats LA Knight clean to become a 3-time United States champion. I did not see that one coming. Wow. I could not imagine a world in which that happened. Could not imagine it. Sid says, my wrestling name as a kid was Tony Rope. Mine was Cerberus. Leon says, yes. Cal says, oh my god. Dom says, WTF. Cal says, the crowd is booing loud. Kevin says, a lot of people on YouTube and Twitter said women's match was not good. Okay, that's their opinion and they're entitled to it. Zach just gives it a 10 out of 10, says, ha. Leon says, let's go. Dom gives it a 7 and says, shocker. It's a good pop for Nakamura holding that championship up. It says, why they essentially squashed LA Knight. I wouldn't say that was a squash. It was brief and it was clean, though. Brief and clean. Exactly how I like my underwear. I don't think the match was long enough. I don't think the wrestling quality was good enough. I'm giving it a 6. But I was very pleasantly surprised by the winner. Shinsuke Nakamura, new United States champion. Hello, Maxine Dupree. Hello, Otis. Okay. I feel like they're becoming a joke. I just feel like Alpha Academy in general, the punchline's been and gone. Otis has unfortunately been right up against real huge opportunities and he's never actually managed to hit them as needed. The work of Mandy Rose, the work with Chad Gable, shouldn't have been difficult to make it happen. Jess says, is this just to get the title on Carmelo? I won't say it's just to get the title on Carmelo, but getting the championship on Carmelo is definitely up there as one of the main reasons for it. Certainly changes the dynamic and opens up some new options. Cal says, not going to lie, I've been shocked all year. This has shocked me big. Oh, I've not been shocked all year. This has shocked me big time. Otis. And nobody reacting. They couldn't get anyone in that corridor to react as if he had no pants on. Everyone's just like, yeah, that happens all the time. We have a Diablo 4 commercial. I played Diablo 4. Kind of enjoyed it. If I wasn't renovating a house, I'd probably have gotten this expansion. They're really working with streamers now, aren't they? Oh, if I could afford it. If I could afford it. Tyler says, that was unexpected. Leon gives it an 11 out of 10. Sid says, I didn't expect that. Cal says, I think Shinsuke drops the belt soon, though. Probably on an episode of SmackDown, in my opinion. Sai says, right result. Nakamura is truly unique, a smooth and solid worker. LA Knight is none of those. Maybe they intentionally didn't do him a favour with that decibel meter. He did not have that championship too long, did he? 4 months. Cal says, Alpha Academy without Chad Gable is pointless. Kinda, yeah. I don't necessarily like to say it, but yeah. Jess says, I like Nakamura, but -5 stars. Jess, not a fan. Jess, very much not a fan. Let's see how Blue Sky is reacting. And imagine, in a nice calm manner, compared to, you know, the good old-fashioned tweeter machine. We're getting a few new followers over there. Enigmatic Entity just followed. Somehow affiliated on Twitch, apparently. Very much enjoying the engagement, I'll tell you that. Jess says, I'm just an LA fangirl. I can't blame you for that. Certainly is a popular figure. A boom mode. Supercard boom mode. Not what I heard. Cal says, has Logan re-signed yet? Wasn't he out of his deal or trying to get a new one? He was out of his deal. He still is. He still is. He hasn't re-signed at this point. I would expect him to pop back up around Royal Rumble time, though. Especially if he's going to get a WrestleMania match, which WWE are interested in. Cal says, I do worry they're going to... what they're going to do with LA Knight without the belt. Does he go for Cody at Rumble? No. He's simply not there. He's not there. We're being introduced to the UFC welterweight champion Bilal Muhammad. Naturally, this is TKO trying to ensure that they get to advertise everywhere that they possibly can, including on their own shows. Sai says, Twitter is probably blaming Meghan Markle. Probably. That's all climate change. Elon Musk is probably blaming the UK government. Yeah, Twitter. I don't miss it. I genuinely don't miss it. It's now trying to send me push notifications to make me check it out. I don't know if I'm going to. I'm very close to deleting the app off my phone and only using it when I'm at my PC. There are thousands of people over there who track what I do, who check what I do, who enjoy my work, and I feel like I'm letting them down by stepping away. But I don't miss it at all. Not at all. Next up is the Intercontinental Championship match. Sheamus, Bron Breakker and Ludwig Kaiser. Ludwig Kaiser being involved has certainly set the cat amongst the pigeons here. Bron Breakker, though, has not been the most successful Intercontinental Champion. He had one brief reign and is into his second brief reign if he loses it tonight. I don't think this is Sheamus' moment. I don't think it's impossible this is Ludwig Kaiser's moment, though. I gotta say, with Sheamus being there, ready to take a loss, Bron Breakker could still look strong despite losing the championship to Ludwig Kaiser. I could see it. Cal says, I just worry he's going to slip further down the card now. That's as regards LA Knight. Sai says, to be honest, I think the Shinsuke Knight feud is just starting. Rushed into it and a rematch works for Saturday night's main event. Fair. Although I'm not a fan of a belt switch to start a series. Sometimes you should do that, especially if the belt switch is going to be retained. If Shinsuke does leave the feud as still champion, you had a couple more matches and LA Knight comes close but can't quite beat him, I can see that working. Cal says, yeah, I've stopped using Twitter as much, to be honest. It's become clear why Musk bought the app now. Yeah, he lost a lot of money on it, but that's why he wanted Donald Trump back. And he kind of got his wish, didn't he? Cal says, I need to see Gunther versus Bron Breakker. You will eventually get your moment. Andrew Quinn says, how many surprises do you think we get, Tom? Like, who can you see returning? When and where? Because, I don't see anyone returning here. Like, I know people are going to ask about The Rock, but I've not heard that he's there. Haven't heard anything about him being there. Kel says, I think Bron wins. Especially with Nakamura having just won, I do think Bron Breakker will likely retain here. That said, we're now halfway through this show, and I do kind of feel like this match is going to be real truncated. I also want to point out it's a very good spot for Ludwig Kaiser. He's not a man who gets many opportunities. He's not a man who usually has a chance to stand out, particularly with Gunther being the guy right next to him. Carl says, also, I've moved away from Drew winning the belt against Gunther. I think Punk beat Gunther, in my opinion, for the belt. Personally, I'm still feeling that Drew McIntyre will beat Gunther at WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight Championship. And if it does happen, I want to see everyone sharing it. I gotta say, Bron Breakker has been a very strong addition. A very strong addition to the Raw roster. He's not been in long, but since appearing in the Royal Rumble, he genuinely has just replaced Brock Lesnar in every possible way. It's another one of the reasons why when so many people say, hey, we need Brock Lesnar back, you really don't. You really do not. Not when you've got a Bron Breakker. So I said there's still no clue whether Breakker is heel or face. I don't think Bron Breakker knows whether he's heel or face. I don't think Triple H knows whether Breakker is heel or face. I think eventually you just have to embrace it, or at least embrace it. That does not work. That joke is not funny. But I did still say it. Kel says, I think today will put the end to the Brock rumours. No, because there are no Brock rumours. There's never been any Brock rumours. There's been complete guesswork, and that's it. There has never been any rumours of Brock Lesnar returning. Not from anyone with any knowledge of the situation. I've been reporting consistently since the very start of all of this that Brock Lesnar is not returning. He's having his contract paid out. He's sitting at home. WWE are letting that happen, and that is that. Just says, has Sheamus really not won the IC title before? That seems like a crazy stat given how long. He's had a lot of championships. That is the only one he's never won. He's got a hell of a trophy cabinet at home. A hell of a trophy cabinet. But we are missing one. Okay, so we're introducing the ref cam historically. The match where we introduce the ref cam is not the match where we use the ref cam. I'd imagine that ref cam is going to be used in the OG Bloodline match. Oh, hang on. Apparently the live creator completed task 1. Okay. I'm guessing that's just have long live shows. I think it's the fact that I've reached 90 minutes in a live. Okay, so now tell me task 2, TikTok. Tell me task 2. He has been around, Jesse. Definitely has. His first win was in a tables match, as I recall. Ludwig Kaiser is feeling himself. I've met and interviewed Ludwig Kaiser. I'd probably feel him too. Leon says Sheamus' first PLE match in quite some time. He's a vet now and he's wrestling like it. I don't necessarily think we've got too many years of him. And I do think over the next few months, he will start to transition more to focusing on his Celtic Warrior Workouts YouTube channel, which does have WWE participation in it. So says the ref cam immediately buffered. Carl says, what's been alleged is genuinely disgraceful. The women have been killing it for years. Why bring someone back who's allegedly done something to contradict that? Based on the allegations, if they are to be true, we then have to question whether that request has been made to anyone else in that locker room. Leon says, as regards Sheamus, he's missing the very prestigious Speed title from his trophy cabinet. I think he'll live. Bayley says, why does the WWE not use drone cameras to hover above the arena? Because if there is any issue with them, the drones may endanger the health, well-being and lives of people in the arena. Once again, Bron Breaker's music hits and I'm reminded of an Icelandic Eurovision entry from many moons ago. Jess says Bron Breakker versus Bronson Reed versus Braun Strowman when? Years away. Years away. I know that a lot of people aren't loving the entrance musics at the moment. Bron Breaker's music's great. I feel like only Bron Breakker has escaped the recent issues with entrance music. It's an absolute banger. Absolute banger. You might suggest banger after banger after banger. We are getting a hell of a lot of engagement on Blue Sky at the moment, I'll tell you that. Hell of a lot of engagement. It does feel like old Twitter when it just was starting out. I'm not far into it. I've only got about 800 followers at the moment, but I'm getting double figures for my likes and stuff. I'm happy. I'm happy. Typically on any social media you expect engagement of about 1%. When you're first starting out, anyway. That's much higher engagement than that. So, Intercontinental Championship. Since Gunther lost it to Sami Zayn at WrestleMania, it's been held by Bron Breakker, Jey Uso, and then, Bron Breakker again. I don't think there's a bad choice here, but I do think there's a right choice, and the right choice is definitely Bron Breakker returning. They both seem to be very angry at Marcel Bartel and Ludwig Kaiser. He's run away. I don't blame him. It's probably the right choice. Carl says, how Bron Breakker survived going full speed to the table is beyond me. I would be no more. He's young and he's eager. That's about all I can say without risking something further. Breakker just sort of throwing Sheamus, just throwing him. Carl also said, I think Bron Breakker is going to rule WWE for a long time. He's incredible. Ludwig Kaiser trying to throw a chair in there. I don't think he's going to be very involved in the fighting here. Breakker and Sheamus is definitely going to get the focus. Typical WWE Intercontinental Championship matches is a lot of singles matches inside a triple threat. So it'll be a rotation. If you remember Gunther versus Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus at WrestleMania, what you actually had was Drew McIntyre versus Gunther, Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus, Sheamus versus Gunther, a brief period of 3 people. Then it changes, and it's Drew McIntyre versus Gunther. Then it's Sheamus versus Gunther, and then it's Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. And then it's another period where it's all 3 of them, and then it's the finish. They like to split matches up. Lots of singles matches. So it says, do you ever sing along to wrestlers' theme music? I sing along to Sheamus's. It's a banger theme song. Some of them, yes, so I wouldn't say sing. For example, I historically do a lot of da-da, 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 da-da. For example, I do a lot of that. I know the first line of Asuka's. That's all. So even then I don't do brilliantly. So it's just a lot of I love that theme. I love that theme. That's about as far as I go though. Ludwig Kaiser's just going to get bullied in the corner for a bit now. He set up a chair. It's a wrong move. Jess's Solo's music is a banger too. When Ludwig wins the title and holds it for longer than Gunther did. That would be awkward for everyone involved. I'd like that. Cal says, I absolutely expect Finn Balor to get involved during the title match later. You're not alone. I'm not happy about it, but I do believe it. Something Cody Rhodes is also something I say yes. I remember actually doing that during the WrestleMania live stream watch party. Adrenaline in my soul. Something Cody Rhodes. It's the only thing that makes sense. And then says, I see him having a lot of focus on him, causing another crack between him and Gunther as Gunther is going to criticise him. So it says, Natalia said on X the IC title is a workhorse title. Do you agree? Yes and no. It always historically was, and it still is. But I would say there are lots of workhorse titles now, because the World Heavyweight Championship has become a workhorse title as well. Bron Breakker just flew. That was a flying spear. He went shoulder first into Ludwig Kaiser's face. Also, that giant prime bottle is definitely getting involved. It's a toss-off right now. Everyone's getting tossed. Cal says, I was drunk during that watch party. What a night. I can't blame you. Some of my most successful watch parties and my successful nights started with less than ostentatious beginnings. For example, what crisps do people like? That is still one of my most successful shows. Still one of my most successful shows. So it says, for years I thought the line my father said in Cody's song was my father's dead. I mean, accurate. We need to rewrite some songs. Oh, tell you one I always liked. One that you guys haven't heard in a long time. I used to sing along to Roman Reigns' theme, but I'd make up lyrics. So, for example, Roman Reigns walking downstairs, and he would be walking downstairs. It works for a lot of different things. You just got to get the syllables right. Roman Reigns cocking his fist. You can make something work. You can make it work. That's all I'm saying. You can make it work. Carl says, everyone's getting tossed. Tom Colohue 2024. Everyone is getting tossed. I'm not wrong. And his mummy says, Sheamus' theme, Lob's dead. Are you saying that he's got a very red face? Because he does. Sheamus' most famous theme, of course, is the one where he has too many limes. Given that he runs a bar and owns a bar, you'd expect he would have too many limes. So it's a real genuine problem. And if you have too many limes, I've got a helpline that you can call to answer the question, what are you going to do with all those limes? What are you going to do with all those limes? All those limes inside your bar? This has got weird. Carl says, if anyone asks me if I'm loyal, I show them Roman Reigns 2015 to 2019. Because I started watching again in like 2014, 2015, I never got the Roman hate. I liked the Shield, but I caught up with them afterwards. I never got the Roman hate. So it says, you can't be the greatest theme music of all time. Real American Hulk Hogan. That man, unfortunately, living the gimmick. Jess says they hated Roman because he was handsome. I mean, if that were true, they'd definitely be hating Shinsuke Nakamura. Ludwig Kaiser, going to be powerbombed into a big prime bottle, but manages to survive. Oh, lovely. Bron Breakker knows how to dive. just amazing. He just throws himself into everyone. That guy is fantastic. Who needs Brock Lesnar? Genuinely, who needs Brock Lesnar? When you've got Bron Breakker, nobody needs Brock Lesnar. Gal says, I watched a new podcast, The Dutch Man Tell. I don't know what you think, but I've enjoyed it recently. I don't really have time to watch podcasts, unfortunately, mostly because I host them. So I said, just wait until the Royal Rumble, 29-man tossed and everyone for himself. Everyone's trying to look after themselves by tossing everyone else. You've got to be careful. Don't toss yourself. Tossing yourself is a bad thing. You'll go blind. Bayley says, there aren't many wrestlers with genuine heat out there unless you count the X-Pac heat Chris Jericho is getting of late. Yeah, Chris Jericho not doing great things right now. Sheamus with the slow rise. I love it. I love it. Carl says, Hulk Hogan could tell me it's snowing outside and I'd walk out in a shirt and shorts. And this, in many ways, is something that I think people sometimes need reminding of when it comes to journalism. It's a perfect example of it. Now, there is far too much of this at the moment where people are playing both sides. They'll present a point, either political or non-political, and it'll be a case of, here's someone who agrees and here's someone who doesn't. The Twitter discourse started because the people who are tolerant are all doing everything they can to get arguments from both sides. And the people who are intolerant are only getting arguments from intolerant people. So what you've got is twice as many intolerant people having their arguments heard, which is how we get Twitter. We got to put a stop to that. Now, what I'm saying as regards journalism, the rule of journalism is not to platform people. It's not. It's really not. It's not to platform people like Hulk Hogan. It's not to repeat any of his lies and say, Hulk Hogan said this today. It's to say, Hulk Hogan lied today. If someone tells you the sky is grey, someone tells you the sky is green, your job is to say the sky's fucking blue. That's what journalists are supposed to do. Report the truth. And when you sit people down, you say, okay, you're going to explain why you think it's grey, you're going to explain why you think it's green. No, you sit them down and you say, okay guys, the sky is blue, you're both wrong. The job of a journalist is to speak truth to power. Platforms like X do not allow that. So why don't you pop over to Blue Sky, where you can find me at Colohue, and I'm sure you'll very much enjoy it there, because my links actually go places now. People actually come to my YouTube. People actually engage me with my work. Nothing's getting throttled. The shadow bans, which are real, aren't there anymore. Come on over. So I said Sheamus with the Keith Lee spot, which was also the Survivor Series. If I remember right, it was indeed. Survivor Series, I want to say, 2019. Big coming out party for Keith Lee. The man came out in a big way. I was surprised by his coming. This is more than I expected. Okay, so Sid, the joke is that we're dancing around that. Dancing around that. Lovely kick out from Bron Breakker. Eyes were not open. He was not staring at the referee. He did not give the game away. Lovely, lovely powerbomb there. True, Cal. Very true. He was brought in to be the guy, so he started to believe that he was the guy, but he ain't the guy. Sheamus going for something else. Avalanche. The pace of this match has been fantastic. I've enjoyed it so far. I gotta say, Bron Breakker's run up the ropes sort of embarrasses LA Knights. I don't really know what else to say about it. It sort of embarrasses LA Knights. Oh, they gave us so long that I forgot about the chair. That is a brogue kick. That is into a cover. The referee's going to get dragged out. Referee gets dragged out. As soon as he ended up there. No, Sid, you do not have to pay to be verified on Blue Sky. Instead, you verify yourself by connecting to a website. So, for example, if I want to buy a Tom Colohue website, then that will basically automatically verify me. Cal says, I thought that was it. No, as soon as I saw the referee where he was. Ludwig Kaiser with a big stick, beating down Sheamus. Second he gets back in the ring, he's getting speared. The second he gets back in that ring, he is going to get speared. Cal thought that was it. Yeah, I will be letting my my payment to Twitter expire. It has not given me the boost that I was looking for. Or the value I was looking for. In the end, it wasn't worth it. I still do not get why Kaiser had his eyes open and was looking at the referee. I never understood why he does the knee and not the bro kick. Surely if you're going to do the knee, you're in range for a bro kick, so just do the bro kick. Never really got it. Carl says SmackDown in 2004 was genuinely insane. John Cena went off to film the Marine instead of him being injured or whatever. Teddy Long told the locker room he got stabbed. Wow. That's insane. Fans are getting behind this one. Sheamus with another banger. Also, the Shillelagh's genuinely done a lot of damage. Oh, lovely from Kaiser. That rotation was amazing. A lot of boos for him. Oh, lovely. Lovely. Kaiser with the finish. And speared. Logically, at this point, Sheamus is getting pinned just because Ludwig Kaiser's out of the ring. That spear was absolutely incredible. Bron Breakker's spear is just ridiculous. Nobody can compete. Edge should be embarrassed. The fans don't want it. Sheamus getting up slowly. Spear. Bron Breakker retains the championship. Amazing spear. Great music. Absolute banger. Another absolute banger in the books for the Intercontinental Championship. Sheamus really tugging on our heartstrings. Ludwig Kaiser with one hell of a showing. But Bron Breakker is an absolute machine. Banger after banger after banger. I'll give that match an 8. Gotta say, really enjoyed it. The pace, the tempo was fantastic. There was a good couple of false finishes. There was definitely a few moments where I thought to myself, wow, this might go the wrong way for me. By the wrong way, I mean like against my prediction. But generally, I think that delivered in every possible way. Jess says, we'll get it next time, my fellow Ludwig maniacs. I believe that makes you a Ludhead. A Ludhead. Carl says, JBL was on the American-Mexican border, not allowing people across the border. Yeah, weird time. Cal loves Bron Breakker. So I says, not only stabbed, but stabbed by Jesus, the wrestler. And as Mommy says, awesome spear. Dom for some reason gives it a 6.3. Didn't really love it, did Dom? Cal said it's going to be the GOAT. Leon says, what a match. So I says 8 out of 10 and a conclusive result. Cal gives it a 9. Leon gives it an 8. Anyone else, by all means, rate the match. Cal says we have to see Bron versus Cena next year. John Cena has given Bron Breakker's name amongst his list. We're getting a connection between Sonic 3 and wrestling. How is this happening? I don't see the correlation that they're going for with this one. This is kind of awkward. So this Sonic movie is literally just the characters beating the crap out of each other. Might watch this one. And as Mummy says, as regards Bron versus Cena, that would be an amazing match. Bayley gives the match a 7. I've once again missed the opportunity to claim one flair. I still don't know what flair is. Let me just clear my notifications. Yep, my daughter has said about something. She should not be awake. It is nearly 10 to 1 in the morning. This show technically is listed as finishing in 55 minutes. In fact, I'm going to just double check and see if they haven't changed that. Got to watch now. It's 1:45, yeah. Technically, the post show is supposed to start at 1:45, which is in 55 minutes. That is not going to work out. You're not going to get a whole Wargames match with Roman Reigns in it. Man, that guy's going to take forever on his entrance, as we know. And also get a World Heavyweight Championship match. Unless the plan is that Gunther doesn't even wrestle. They both make their entrance and then Finn Balor immediately attacks Damian Priest. Something went very wrong with the pacing of this show. So I says Knuckles the Echidna for the Royal Rumble. Kel says I can't for the Royal Rumble for everyone to think AJ Lee will return even though there'll be no reports. Yeah, everyone's going to think that. Everyone. Just as I love Priest and Gunther, but I forgot all about their match. It's all about Wargames, really, to be fair. Everyone's focused on that. Kel says, what do you think is Paul's favourite to Punk? I don't understand what you're saying. Favourite to Punk? Can't think of any punk bands. Let's say Green Day. Maybe he's a pop punk guy. I find it so strange that they're trying to advertise Black Sabbath War Pigs on Spotify like it's not been out for fucking months, decades. Like it hasn't been out for decades. Next up then, despite the fact they're already going way over, Gunther versus Damian Priest. Oh, Paul's favourite of Punk. Right, got it. I'd imagine he's going to beg Cody Rhodes for a World Heavyweight Championship match. Oh no, wrong way around. I'd imagine he's going to manage Punk against Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship at the Royal Rumble. Something like that. Hello, Martin. Says, just wanted to say good evening to all. Great listen along so far. Been driving, got 2 hours left, but wanted to say hi. Welcome, Martin. Good to see you, mate. Missing a good show so far. Missing a very good show that's already way over what I would expect of it, really. Already way over. We're celebrating the Ring General, naturally. I do feel like they gave us this fatal 4-way to determine the number 1 contender nice and early, just to shut up the rumours of CM Punk versus Gunther from Viper Reports. Not the plan. Was never the plan. For anyone who wasn't aware, on November 11th, my spoiler warning show, the thumbnail had a picture of CM Punk and said, Wargames. CM Punk is in Wargames. Damian Priest needed this. He needed an opportunity to get back involved. I've got to say, I do think we're just going to see more Finn Balor here. I think this is just an opportunity for them to heat up the Balor versus Priest feud. Naturally, I don't love that as a concept. The WWE have this thing that they're doing at the minute. They did it last year with Jay versus Jimmy Uso, and because that really outlived its welcome, I do feel as though they are just trying desperately to keep people invested in a feud that we're just not invested in. It's taking far too long. We've already had Balor versus Priest and Priest won. They can't reheat it. They gotta move on. Priest is a big name. He's made it to the top. Keeping him there is not easy. It's not automatic. There are no guarantees. He's got to put a lot of work in himself. It's difficult. It's difficult to reach the top and then stay there. That's the difficulty. I can't see Gunther losing this. Can't imagine that world happening. So, what does Damian Priest do next? Hard to say. Jess says, sometimes, most of the time, long-term storytelling is too long for me. I agree. The last real long-term story I enjoyed is probably Randy Orton as part of the Wyatt family. Andrew, welcome, mate. Says, hi, Tom. Do you think we'll get any big surprises in the main event? What do you think? I think the biggest surprise will be Solo Sikoa winning. A lot of people have asked me about the chances of The Rock appearing. To my knowledge, The Rock's next scheduled appearance is on the first show on Netflix. What I will say is that there was not an expected appearance for The Rock at Bad Blood until the day before, which is why, of course, there's been no follow-up to it whatsoever. It's also the reason the main event of that event was changed to Roman Reigns. Thank you, by the way, Andrew, for the gift. Says just got the number 2 gifter badge, so you must have given me something, and I appreciate it very much for it. We are apparently top of my current live league, which is D4. So we moved from D5 up to D4 today, and as we continue to stream regularly, we're apparently going to keep going up. As we go up, we get exposed to more viewers, and that's more opportunity to grow. Hopefully, we're able to convince some people that we are worth their time here, though I do think maybe in the end, we are going to have to try and do short and sweet TikTok news shows, maybe on a slightly different schedule to Spoiler Warning, to try and make them happen. Not sure how it's going to play, but if we're doing them short and sweet, there are many different options available to us. I want to try and find a way to engage with a TikTok audience in a way that really fits with a TikTok audience. That's not automatically going to be easy. It's a difficult one. Cal says, we all know the real Paul Heyman guy is Curtis Axel. Really is. Ola Cesaro. Cal wants Damian Priest to have another title run, but says, how long do you think the new Judgment Day will last? It's already feeling like they're teasing their demise. Won't last much longer. I don't think they'll make it past WrestleMania, to be honest. No, Kai, I don't smoke. I'm actually avidly against it. Most of my childhood people were blowing smoke in my face and I wasn't a fan. Kel says, I'll be absolutely shocked on every level if Gunther loses. Joey says, hey Tom, how's it going? Going very well, thank you, Joey. Welcome to the show. Good to see you. Says, Kaiser was great in that match. He stood out the most to me. I like the way he was used. It wasn't a case of you're doing this, you're doing that. He was doing a bit of everything. I also, like, as a fan, why are you trying to reach out and clap hands with Gunther? Gunther's not going to do that. Why are you going to, well, Gunther's not going to do that. I like that we're recognising the United Kingdom Championship again, because that's long gone. 78% of his time as champion and rising. Needs mentioning and rising. Only just seen Alicia Taylor's attire. That's a look. That is a look. And I gotta respect it. That is a look. People like the banger after banger after banger post. Jess says Alicia Taylor clearly going for Priest based on the outfit. Yeah, she's threatening. It is a dangerous outfit. Carl says, there was no plan for the other members of Judgment Day. What does Carlito, JD or Finn do after it's over? Defend the tag team championships. Do you remember them? Good acting from Gunther. He doesn't look like he's saying goodbye to the championship. Again, can't imagine a world in which it happens, but I still have Gunther defending that championship against Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. The WrestleMania matches, I expect that being one of them. Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill. I have that. I also have CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa. Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. Charlotte Flair versus Tiffany Stratton. And of course, The Rock versus Cody Rhodes. Andrew said, didn't catch the start of your live stream. What's your opinion on the matches so far? So far, so good. So far, so good. I really enjoyed the triple threat for the Intercontinental Championship. I thought the women's Wargames match was good, if a little sloppy early on. It did really come into its own later on. And I thought the United States Championship match happened. TikTok has advised me to taking a break because I've been live for 90 minutes. I've been live for a little longer than that. Just as why does Gunther always have his knees out? He likes his knees. He's proud of his knees. If he got it, flaunt it. And Gunther, he got it. And if not, he won't get it. Carl says Priest is fully embracing the bisexual Undertaker look. Not intentionally, that's just how he likes to look. White Six says, I bet you never saw that title change coming, Tom. I did not. I did not. Cal forgot the tag belts were a thing. White Six says, both Triple H and Vince not really high in tag teams, not big money makers. Not wrong. Not wrong. They're not. They're very much not. But hopefully they remember that they have tag teams soon. The Motor City Machine Guns are certainly going to be big money makers. Carl thinks Gunther is going to win due to Finn Balor, which I agree with. Do you think we'll see Howdy at WrestleMania? Yes, I do. Though I do think he'll likely be in Nikki Cross's corner in her match against Alexa Bliss. That's what I have Alexa Bliss doing at WrestleMania, wrestling Nikki Cross. Gunther leaving the ring to recuperate and mugging a Macho Man impersonator. You will know Gunther also rocking the black and white, which earlier was a theme of women's Wargames for the heels. Andrew says, I literally forgot Judgment Day of the Tag Champs. Yeah, you and Triple H both. Gunther trying to play a rope-a-dope here. This match is probably going to go far too long as well. Wyatt says, is there a slight chance Brock Lesnar returns between now and next year? No. 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 Brock Lesnar is not wanted by the WWE. Not wanted. Brock Lesnar does not want to return to the WWE. No interest at all. Bayley says, when do you expect the site for WrestleMania 42 to be announced? I'd expect it to be formally announced at WrestleMania 41. That's the plan that the WWE have at the moment. Each WrestleMania they'll announce the next one, though I expect rumours and spoilers to start appearing around February. Cal says, do you think Alexa eventually joins the Wired Six? Not sure. Not sure. All I know is that they are waiting for the Wyatt Six to be ready for Alexa Bliss to return. Now, I don't know if she's going to be immediately involved with them. I don't know how involved she's going to be, but all I've been told is that there will be some involvement between Alexa Bliss and the Wyatt Six. Oh, good dodge there from Priest. These two both work similar styles. They are heavily power-based, and they have good range to their moves. While Damian Priest does have a set finisher, he does have a range of quite interesting signatures. So his offense does stand out in a good way. Okay, so the suggestion is that he's going to get a shoulder injury. If there's a shoulder injury, Gunther will naturally take advantage, and this match might be called off. White Six says, do you think this bow change of character causes a split? No. What change of character is this? As in to Uncle Howdy? Because he already was. Kel says, I know backstage are loving the Wyatt Six, aren't they? And the fans are the pop for them is insane when they show up. Yeah, and a large part of that is not oversaturating them. I don't feel that's getting enough respect. They're making sure there is no oversaturation of the Wyatt Six, and for me, that is the right move. If the Wyatt Six were everywhere and always, people wouldn't care. Carl says, I have a feeling this match is going to have one scandalous ending. Seems to be building towards that now, yes. Focuses on the arm. Gunther doesn't really have a finisher or anything that works on the arm. He's not known for his submission moves other than the Boston Crab, of course. Pretty sure he needs his arm for South of Heaven as well. Not a character change, mate. Not a character change. Carl says, I think they did that a little too much with The Fiend. Showed him every show. Yes, it was during the pandemic, so I get it. They have slowly given us the Wyatt Six. I love it. I much prefer it as well. I think the way they built the Wyatt Six is much better than the way they were originally building The Fiend way back when. And I'm also very glad that despite all those people saying, oh, we need to see The Fiend back, there has been no sign so far. That's a good thing as far as I'm concerned. The crowd do seem a little restless, Cal, you're not wrong. The problem is, since this injury happened, it's been the only focus. Gunther's been on top. It's made the match kind of dull. A lot of the same stuff. A lot of the same stuff. Slow. And Tom Colohue will not be getting to bed by 2 o'clock. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm loving a show that starts at 11 p.m. because they used to start at 1 a.m. Meaning that I'd still be watching at 4 in the morning. If it went over, it would then get me closer to 5 in the morning, and I would never get any sleep. I gotta be honest, guys, I like sleep. I like sleep a lot. After this show, I'm not really planning any watch parties until Elimination Chamber in March. That's right, Elimination Chamber in March. There will not be a Royal Rumble watch party. I have other arrangements for that day. Okay, so we do have a submission. Priest has really got his face going nicely. Got a little sale of it. The man knows how to sell. Leon says, who do you see Gunther working with at Mania? Drew McIntyre. Nice counter from Damian Priest, but it's not a comeback with much legs to it. Bayley says how late we were up at WrestleMania 35. Past 7 a.m. Past 7 a.m. on a work day. Not good. It's not good. Damian Priest is still in it, but the tempo of the match has dropped significantly. The injury angle has led to a lot of rest holds. It's not exciting. It's not exciting. He's trying to Hulk up. He's trying to get back involved. The crowd are behind him. Gunther's just slowing him down again. General rule of the good guy. The good guy's supposed to want it fast. The bad guy's supposed to want it slow. Gunther typically works with a bit of both. He likes a high tempo, but he's a bad guy. So he does a high flurry of offense, then he slows down. Once again, high flurry of offense, then he slows down. That's how he controls it in a way that a face can also relate to. Difficulty is he doesn't seem to want to be a face in this one. Idea seems to be to put as much focus onto Damian Priest as possible. It's not a bad thing. That's what they want to do in order to build someone. The difficulty is that when it comes to someone like Damian Priest, he's already had the rub. And this match ain't going to give him any more. Sorry guys, something fell into my eye there. I think it was an eyelash. This match ain't going to give him any more rub. So what more can you really give him? I don't know, depends on the element of Finn Balor, doesn't it? I do feel like, if anything, the end of this match we'll see Gunther looking weaker. Okay, Damian Priest has genuinely embraced the bisexual Undertaker, going into a triangle. It's not quite the triangle. Gunther's face in the wrong position. The hell's gay? The hell's gay? Kel says, why did Drew McIntyre wrestle the Big Show that one WrestleMania and then Heath Slater the next day? The pandemic era was truly terrible. Heath Slater was several weeks later. The Big Show was right after WrestleMania, essentially because they were available and they wanted to bank some matches for the pandemic. The night of WrestleMania, they recorded a lot of different matches. They actually recorded a lot of segments for upcoming Raws. Becky Lynch's promo from 2 weeks after WrestleMania was filmed the same time they've recorded her WrestleMania appearance and match. Gunther with a powerbomb and a sexy pin. Damian Priest, who of course has worked with Rhea Ripley extensively, knows how to get away with a sexy pin. Bayley says WrestleMania 35 has 16 matches including the pre-show. No one would sit through that now, nor should they. It's not something anyone wants to see, including me. Cal says if Finn Balor doesn't get involved, how are they going to continue the feud? By just getting involved on Raw. Daniel says, who have you got to win? Priest versus Gunther. Gunther. I can't imagine a world in which Gunther loses. That said, I couldn't imagine a world in which LA Knight lost. I've been proven wrong before. Cal says, I expect it to be warm and cozy in bed by 2. You will not get your wish. You will still be watching Roman Reigns' entrance by 2. Yeah, this match ain't doing it for me. Priest with a Hurricane Rana, but after seeing Bron Breakker run up the ropes, not the same. Gets the Razor's Edge, can't get into the pin. Gunther's watching for him. Also watching the ref. Gunther's one of the worst defenders when it comes to that. Just watching the ref to know when his spot is. Bad cover. It's not a sexy pin, is it? What you need is a sexy pin. Then you're in power. Then you're in possession. Then you're dominant. Referee checking in. I can't say I agree with this is awesome chance. I don't want to be too down on it. The match isn't great. That's all I'm saying. The match is not great. He couldn't get south of heaven. What did I say? What did I say? I don't think Priest is going to be one of those that taps. Might be a pass out. Carl says this is not awesome. It's not loving this one. Just as I feel like this whole match, everyone's watching is just waiting for Finn. I kind of agree with that. I also think without Finn, it's just not very interesting. Bayley says no one in the crowd seems very excited. I'm starting to wonder if maybe they're piping some audio in. I don't like to say it, but the crowd just don't seem interested. Referee giving Gunther some instructions there. Do I hear a Nakamura chant? There's a Let's Go Gunther chant. There's a Let's Go Gunther chant. This is working in the exact opposite of what they go for. They're supposed to be building Damian Priest. It is not working as they intended. Carl says if Finn doesn't get involved, there's no reason for their feud to continue. I agree, but I'm sure they'll find one. Damian Priest giving an instruction by the referee there. I'd imagine it's comeback time. It is. Essentially, Carl, they realised they gave the guy no weaknesses, so they're trying to invent one after the fact. Daniel, I don't believe I've said that CM Punk will be a world champion. Certainly, I don't see room for a world championship match anytime soon. Priest's comeback was 2 clotheslines. This is not good. I think Priest is probably aware that it's not good as well. Carl says, I expected this match to go less than 7 minutes. I think one of the reasons they're doing shows earlier now is so that they can overrun. But yeah. At some point, yes, Daniel, but I can't sit here and say it's going to be this championship at this time. I think he will be a world champion in the WWE. I can't sit here and give you details on that. It's what I think. Certainly not his best, Cal, is it? Priest is now saying his shoulder is out. He's saying his shoulder is out, but he's waving his arm and saying, give me a second. Finn Balor. Crowd's reacting. Finn Balor. Coup de grace. Coup de grace. I like that. I like that. Gunther wanted a one-on-one. Finn Balor got in the way of that, so he got kicked in the face. Fair play. This is it though. It's over now. No powerbomb. Bit more of a beat down. Into a submission, and that will put Priest out. There'll be no tap. He'll be put out. He'll be put out. So yeah, that went about as expected. Didn't love it. Gunther versus Damian Priest was a victim of an unconvincing build towards Priest versus Finn Balor at WrestleMania 41. The injury angle sucked a lot of momentum and tempo out, and for me, this match was a miss from a so far solid WWE Survivor Series 2024. Bring on Wargames. Roman will save us. I'm giving it a 4. Yeah. I'm giving the match a 4. Far too slow, far too long. We all knew what the finish was going to be. Just dull. Cal says, what a terrible match. Dom gives it a 5. Bayley gives it a 3. Says it was 20 minutes too long. Cal says it was boring, sluggish, and to be honest, I'm not interested. Leon gives the match a 6. We knew where this was going. The entire time we knew where this was going, and that's exactly what happened. Damian Priest leaves disappointed, angry at Finn Balor all over again, and we start the cycle all over again. WrestleMania will once again be Damian Priest versus Finn Balor, a match that Finn Balor has already lost. And I do feel like it's exactly the same thing we had with Finn Balor and Edge. Massively, massively over-invested by the WWE and massively under-delivered when the time actually came. Hello, proud dad. Happy War Games to you too. Hope you're watching and enjoying. If not, thank you for dropping in anyway. Carl says the WWE know full well what they're doing with Heyman wearing the same suit as Solo, don't they? However, if it does turn, it will be cinema. We'll see. I can't imagine he'll turn based on the whole thrown through a table business. The most likely turn for me is that he just stays with CM Punk. Okay, so the show ends in 20 minutes, apparently. Do you reckon we're going to have everyone in their War Games cages by then? I do not. Carl Finn signed a new WWE contract a few months ago. He's staying for the duration. And if this was what was promised to him, it was not good enough. Jess says, genuinely don't get how Triple H doesn't realise no one cares about Priest versus Finn. He cares, so that's kind of all he cares about. Okay, so the final of the United States Championship tournament will take place on Saturday night main event. Elektra Lopez versus Naomi versus Tiffany Stratton up next for the US Championship. This match happens in 2 weeks, which makes it basically the sister show for Survivor Series. Cody Rhodes defends against Kevin Owens again. Nothing else major announced as of yet, but I reckon the Motor City Machine Guns have a chance of being involved in this one. Now they're hyping up Raw. I feel like this is all eyes off at the minute. I will not be watching the Survivor Series post-show, just so everyone's aware. I don't understand why anybody would. They are not very exciting. All of the media in the press conference is co-opted. They're all pretending to be part of the show. It's awkward. And none of the promos are interesting. Nobody answers any questions with any sort of honesty. And it's kind of just a big waste of time. Kel says, if the New Day don't split up, what's been the point of the past 4 months? Making you interested again? They needed to get people invested again, and I feel if Big E is indeed returning, that's the way to do it. They could always have him come back as a manager, keep him together and keep him on the straight and narrow. There's room for it. Just there's so many guys in that weird bigger than mid-card but lower than main event phase. Yeah, that's where WWE wants them. They want as many people exactly there as possible so that when they need someone for the main event, they can just grab one of them. That's where Jey Uso is, for example. The largest North American arena gate in WWE history. WWE not mentioning how expensive they made the fucking tickets. I don't understand the university business. I don't understand what's happening right now. Just says best in the world. Tribal Chief. He hit himself in the face with Zula Fowler then. Jacob's a bit of a caricature. What the hell just happened? Like, you're way over and you're wasting time with that? You're about to do a whole promo section anyway. That was just strange. Cal says, Solo's been incredible over the last few months. He's so funny, I don't know if that is the point. Jacob Fatu is certainly helping him in that regard as well, I would say. It's weird. Like, people apparently hate Solo now that he's been put into prominence. They loved him beforehand. I think he's doing a very good job. I do not acknowledge Tonga Loa. That is simply not acceptable. Simply not acceptable. I do like, though, and I will say this, I like that they show me so much of what happened in Saudi Arabia because I do not watch Saudi Arabian shows. So it's nice that I get enough recaps to know what's going on. Apparently the answer is Sami Zayn, but the answer's always been Sami Zayn. The answer always should have been Sami Zayn. What I'd like to see is Tama Tonga standing out. I don't think he's really had a chance to show what he can do in WWE as of yet. All the focus has been on Jacob Fatu. Just want a bit more. Just want a bit more. Carl says Jacob is going to have to delete his Twitter if he turns on Solo in the future. He's probably going to delete his Twitter anyway. He's not a fan. He's not a social media guy. He just isn't. I do think as well, Roman's redemption arc has been rapid. Sami Zayn went back to acknowledging him. There's been no change in Roman. Roman hasn't shown remorse. He hasn't apologised. He just came back and said, yeah, but I'm still in charge. What are you doing? And everyone was like, yeah, what's going on? You're supposed to be in charge. You were the one who's been a mean old bastard to us. Carl says, why was Bronson Reed brought into this? Because he's doing really well. And Triple H wanted to reward him for it. I'm not unhappy with that as a concept. I do love Roman Reigns being very happy to see Paul Heyman, but not being very happy to see CM Punk. I also really enjoyed watching Twitter melt down because they'd all convinced themselves that Seth Rollins was number 5 and he was not. He just wasn't. I also think this is the best pivot that CM Punk could have. He went from wrestling Drew McIntyre, getting the win there eventually, and he needed something to refresh him, something to get that memory out of our mind so that he could move on. Working with Roman in any capacity definitely achieves that. They're not going to be in the cages by the actual scripted finish time. The cell's still slowly dropping down. It is main event time. Now, I know there's been lots of wishful thinking saying that The Rock is going to be there. To my knowledge, he isn't. But as I have mentioned, he wasn't originally planned to be a Bad Blood, so things can change. Seth Rollins seems the most likely to get involved. Either to attack CM Punk, because what are you doing? Or to attack Bronson Reed and help. My prediction for this is that the bad guys win. And I did mention back at SummerSlam, Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa is on the docket for WrestleMania. I was asked at that point, how do you keep them from having a match for all that time? The answer is actually fairly simple. You've got a Wargames in between. You've got a Royal Rumble in between. You've got an Elimination Chamber. You've got plenty of excuses for them not to be directly involved with each other while still having them directly involved with each other. They've had tag team matches. Cody Rhodes has been involved. Now Bronson Reed's involved. We still haven't had Jacob Fatu versus Roman Reigns, but you've had teasers of it. They've kept them separate enough with special matches like this. And with that in mind, Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa still seems set. I'm not going to lie to you, Cal. You know that. Cal says Roman literally committed war crimes against Kevin Owens for 3 years. All his friends sided with Roman straight away. Yeah, Sami's just fine with it. Just loves Solo. Which is a strange phrase to say. Jess loves Solo. I feel like I'm making a crude remark about it. Tammy Tonga first in. Okay, I want to mention this one. Tama Tonga first into Wargames for the new bloodline. I don't feel that he's really had a chance. to show what he can do yet in the WWE. This man nearly reached the top in New Japan. His work with Jay White was tremendous. Let's go, Tama. He stands out, doesn't he? He stands out. Another Slim Jim commercial. They're really committed to Slim Jims. I suppose, to be fair, they always have been. Tama Tonga is just creeping everyone out. I love this guy. He's just having a great time. He's broken Corey Graves. But not Charles Robinson. Not Charles Robinson. Sami Zayn wearing red. It's Bloodline Wolfpack. That's what we're looking for here. Very clear that we've got black Bloodline and red Bloodline. And Sami Zayn in a smoke machine. Tonga Loa trying to psych him out. Sami Zayn's been here far too long for that. He is one of the top guys in the industry now. Cal thinks OG Bloodline wins. Says, why did Roman lose a tribal chief status for losing one match, yet Solo has lost 85% of his matches? Because of when, rather than because of who. Jimmy Uso's music is still bad. But again, wearing red. Watch Roman just wear black. Roman don't care about his family. I feel like Bronson Reed could be a major player here. I don't know for sure how this is going to play out. But I do feel like Bronson Reed could really stand out. Jess thinks Jimmy's theme slaps. I'm not there for it. Interesting that CM Punk comes out before Jay. I would have expected Jay to come out before CM Punk. Bayley thinks this one won't end until 2:45 GMT. Another hour then. I mean, Roman's not even there yet. Straight to Bronson Reed's face. I hope he asked if he could do that. We've lost the feed. Bronson Reed literally poking the bear there. Will be a receipt for that later. Of all the people that pissed off, Bronson Reed, not the one. Not wearing red. Kel says CM Punk is the ultimate house and I love it. What's going on? This is wrong. Jey Uso's last out. Jey Uso's the guy they're bringing out to pop the crowd. I'm guessing he's starting the match then. Jess says, where's Heyman? I mean, Heyman's there for Punk, not Roman. Roman, of course, with the pyro. Jess is infuriated at being deprived of Paul Heyman. Roman acknowledges himself all over Solo Sikoa. Soaking it up. Loving it. Steve says, where's Paul? Cal says, did Paul Heyman die? No. No. You gotta calm down. Roman showing love for his family. They stand separate from CM Punk. Roman is wearing red on his gloves. Well, sorry, his glove and his gauntlet. So there is some red. Punk and Roman unable to decide who goes first. Logically, Roman Reigns should be the last one in this match. The heels have advantage here, so Jey Uso is going to spend most of his night getting beaten up. Sami Zayn got real jacked recently. Roman should be the last one in. Even while Roman's music is playing, the fans are already starting to yeet, so I think WWE might have got this one right. I do want to say a thank you to Jess on the TikTok side. The amount of likes on this show are almost entirely down to yourself. So I do want to say a massive thank you to you for continuing to support this stream as aggressively as you do. It's very much appreciated. And it is helping me go up the ranks, find new people and grow. So thank you, Jess. Jey Uso is amongst the people. Coming in via the crowd, and he's all in red. The man is representing in every way. Steve says, since the babyface women won the first one, there's zero chance Roman's team wins, right? I wouldn't say zero. I don't have them winning. I very much do think that what's going to happen is that Solo Sikoa is going to pick up the win for his team here. I think Jimmy Uso or Sami Zayn is at risk of being pinned. I think CM Punk is very much showing off right now, which I like. Very fitting of who he is. And to be clear, I'm not saying his character, I'm saying who he is. Bayley says 10k subscribers on YouTube a possibility by year's end. It's a possibility, it's not a probability, but it's a possibility. It depends. I knew going into this year that in order to hit 1 million views, I would need to really leverage shorts, which is what I've done. I've really leveraged shorts and it's given me quite an achievement by the end of it. From here on, and one of the reasons I have, one of the reasons I'm not monetized right now is because the shorts platform, it does involve, in order to make it work, putting a lot of stuff up that I'm not necessarily creating myself. There's a lot of fan cams which I've sourced, quite a bit of WWE backstage stuff. I don't want to be that guy. So I've been exploring different platforms while not monetized. Platforms like TikTok, platforms like Blue Sky, which is where I'm putting a lot of focus right now, and which is getting me some pretty good results. What I will say is that YouTube is still my home, and YouTube still makes me the most money. I know right now I'm not monetized, but YouTube makes me the most money right now. So we ain't going nowhere. Next year we'll be monetized once again on YouTube. I will have worked out what I want to do with what platforms. Blue Sky, which I've got about 800 followers on there now, will have grown to a considerable level and will hopefully be starting to convince people to come over using the links there. And yeah, TikTok will be in a healthy place where it's helping to draw attention. A lot of stuff to do, but I'm enjoying it. Steve says, Jay's the most over wrestler in the match. That's why he gets the last entrance. Very much seems so, yeah. I'd have thought it would be Roman Reigns. I was wrong. Joe, if that's what you want to do, start. Genuinely, the best advice I can give you is just start. So we are starting with Jey Uso versus Tama Tonga. Tama Tonga trying to call Jey Uso in. Cal says the new bloodline just unintentionally make me laugh, man. It's not unintentional. They know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. It's clever. It's a way of ensuring that they get the attention that they're looking for. They just become very meme-worthy. Bayley, I don't necessarily want to drop Twitch. Unfortunately, the streaming setup I've got at the moment doesn't support dual streaming. I don't know what happened there. I think essentially I've been doing it for a year and it just expired. I think that's all it is. So yeah, nothing at the moment from Twitch. Also, Twitch isn't really paying properly anymore. There's a lot of people I know who've been having problems with Twitch payouts. Awkward. Steve, I don't believe Paul Heyman is banned from British Columbia now. Cal says, Solo loses to Roman. Does a new bloodline pick a new tribal chief? I think technically if Solo loses to Roman, the new bloodline belongs to the tribal chief Roman Reigns. And I don't think he's really going to be able to handle them. The new generation are quite young. They need someone relatively young to lead them. We are officially off. And the fans are just yeeting all over the place. Jeff thinks Tama Tonga should be the tribal chief. He will be. He's a tribal chief at the moment. He'll be even more tribal chief soon, don't you worry. Jay's working the crowd. Working well here to keep people invested without necessarily overdoing it. One of the reasons is a bit slower. Tama Tonga's first real bit of offense. And already playing to the crowd. Their engagement with the crowd is particularly good. In a way that I don't think they necessarily will have learned in New Japan. What I do remember, fun one for you, in a Super Show of Honor, which was a Ring of Honor and New Japan dual show, the Guerrillas of Destiny, that being Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, were in a match. And at the end of the match, Ring of Honor booked Enzo and Big Cass to appear. The Guerrillas of Destiny were not happy with this and beat the hell out of both of them. Jay White was also on that show. He was also very not happy. Crowd are just basically going through all the names of the good guys. There's Sami Uso chant there. There's been CM Punk. There's been OTC. Been lots of Jey Uso. Been nothing of Jimmy. You could do a No Ye chant. Let's go No Ye. Carl says if Solo loses, he's going to do a historic cry session on SmackDown. If Solo loses, expect The Rock. Getting late, I do apologise. Tama Tonga went for a pin there. Interesting. Overacted afterwards. Which, yeah, that was silly. That was silly. Letting him know that he made a mistake there. Logically, next man in should be Tonga Loa. If we get Tonga Loa and then Jimmy Uso, then we have what's long been a dream match. Guerrillas of Destiny versus the Usos. I could see that being a WrestleMania match as well. Jess says, Jimmy being like, I had to take care of my little brother Jay when he's 9 minutes older was so funny. Yeah, I love that. Cal says, I love Jimmy just trash talking Solo. Looks like Bronson Reed's going to be the guy. Disappointing. No, once again, I'm not going to co-host. It's not going to happen. People need to stop asking for that. He's looking for the weapons. Once again, nobody knows where the weaponry is. We have chairs. We're going straight into this. Cal says, oh dear, Jay's going to get beat up here. Yes, he is. Steve says another Samoan enters the ring. Jonah in New Japan. Worked with Okada quite a few times. Nice. Okay. Jay Uso has no chance here. None whatsoever. It's about to go wrong. Just full body. Full body. I think Bronson Reed could have a long-term pairing here. I don't think he's going to. But I think he could. He actually fits very nicely with this bloodline. Undoubtedly, he's got more to do with Seth. And probably a bit more to do with Braun Strowman. But this is building him very nicely. It's a main event of Survivor Series. And we're doing some teamwork. Oh, lovely. I love the way he dropped that. There are enemies in Streets of Rage that spit fire. Bronson Reed gives me that vibe. Particularly given that if you try and pick them up, you just get squashed. We have a minute left until Jay gets some back up. I'd imagine... I still think it's probably going to be Jimmy. There's got to be some point a stare down between God and the Usos. Got to be. Thomas says, did anyone else here say when Bronson slapped the chair out of the air? I think a lot of fans did. Okay, they finally got it together to do a Jimmy Uso chant. It's not great. People are not invested in it. But they're trying. You gotta respect they're trying. Good pace for the splash. Holding on for Bronson Reed to do the same. Again, fairly standard Wargames. It is going to be Jimmy who comes in next. Straight in the ring from Jimmy. No stopping to get weaponry or anything like that. Just saying Big Brother Jim saving the day. Logically, Tonga has got to be next. Then we can have that stare down before Sami Zayn gets involved. But it's been a while since we've seen the Usos together. Are we going to see a 1D on Bronson? I can see it. Bayley says, how many more Fatus do you see joining the WWE in the next few years? There aren't that many more of them. There's enough. Steve says, welcome to the Uso Penitentiary. Jimmy Uso showing off there. Since when can he do that? No, Cy Heyman is not out there. Cal says, is it going to be like NWO? Are we going to see like 3 versions of the Bloodline? Yeah. Oh yeah, Jacob Fatu is going to be in charge of the 3rd version. It's about time Jimmy added something new to the repertoire. He could tell the fans were excited for it and surprised by it. That was a good time to do another Jimmy Uso jam. Jess thinks Heyman is going to do a splash off the cage. I think Bronson Reed might do a splash off the cage. Uso's calmly in control here. I don't think that's guaranteed to last. Particularly with someone like Big Bronson Reed in there. He could still get the Nia Jax moment. They did not sync up those at all. Awkwardly done. Awkwardly done. They got there, but awkwardly done. So I says, I wonder if he's making a big entrance. He might well do. I mean, there'll be extra people. Bayley says, Paul Heyman ever wrestled in a match? He has in the past, yes. He was in a tag team match. The Hardys against he and Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar beat up both Hardys. The crowd chants, this is Usi. This is Usi. Sami Zayn must be happy. Tonga Loa is indeed next in. Oh. Solo Sikoa says no. He wants Jacob Fatu involved. Interesting. This definitely changes things. They are not going to make Jacob Fatu look weak. I think from here on out, it's going to be even all the way. No matter how many bodies come in, it'll be even until the finish from here. Fatu's definitely coming off the top. Both Usos going on the attack immediately. Both Usos thrown away immediately. Jey Uso just letting his brother get beaten up. Oh, you missed it on the camera. The camera missed the kip up. Steve says, great tactical move by the Tribal Chief. Corey clearly agrees on commentary. Solo Sikoa naturally will still be the last guy in. He and Roman makes the most sense. So next up will be Sami. And I don't fancy Sami's chances against Jacob Fatu either. The crowd are chanting love you so. The crowd are having a great time right now. Cal says Jacob is a cheat code. You're not wrong. Oh. Damn. This guy's amazing. It's another coming out party. He's had like 15. Michael Cole overplaying it slightly. That was an interesting move. Tama Tonga didn't quite have the pace he was looking for, but it still paid off beautifully. Oh no, that was absolutely perfect. There was no question about pace. That was absolutely perfect. Jimmy Uso's been sat there the entire time since Jacob came in, and it just doesn't matter. He's just getting beat up. Nothing he can do. I know Carl, same, might have overdone it slightly. CM Punk wants him. Nope. Roman wants Sami. He knows what's happening here. He's sending Sami into the warpath. And Roman has no interest in explaining himself. We'll see. Clearly, a lack of trust there. So he's starting with Tama Tonga. Going to get a few moves in while Jacob Fatu's on the other ring. He's going to look good for a minute or two, and then he's going to get demolished. Jess says the tension between Punk and Roman is so crazy they need to kiss already. I get the feeling you say that about a lot of people in wrestling. Sami Zayn in control of Bronson Reed at the moment. Only one man left. Sami Zayn's, CM Punk's facials looking good there. And Sami just hit a brick wall. Oh, okay, okay. Again, we're even. We're very even. Oh, Jimmy's missed him. That's cute. Jimmy and Sami were always close. Always close. So it says the question now is whether Roman sends himself in before Punk, or whether Punk refuses to go if Roman doesn't. Roman might say it's CM Punk's turn, but CM Punk might say, nope, I don't do what you tell me to do. I don't know how that's going to go, but I think it might. Punk is now mirroring Roman. Tonga Lowell will be next in. I don't see him having much impact. I don't. He's not done great in WWE so far. He just hasn't. He just hasn't. Again, Cal, I could not tell you. It's just a very confusing thing to say. Very confusing. Jacob Fatu with an Impaler DDT. The heels are kind of in a good spot. Tonga Loa won't necessarily enhance or detract from that. He should get weapons. He should get a lot of weapons. He should only wrestle with weapons. Good lad. Tables? Tables. He should spend his entire 3 minutes just throwing tables in the ring. He can't keep the gate open. Did he just shout the word tables at Jacob Fatu? Like, he knows. He knows. Steve says, time for some G.O.D. I'm confident we'll get the G.O.D. Uso stare down. Heel still in control. Few tables to set up. Few chairs ready. Slow down a little bit now. Not in a bad way. There's quite a few weapons in the ring now. G.O.D. settling into their position. CM Punk should be in next. Roman just refusing to make eye contact under any circumstances. It's like they've suffered a monumental breakup and it's just too awkward for everyone involved. Sami Zayn bounced off the turnbuckle, accidentally ends up sat on the ropes, can't do anything about it, so Tama Tonga just runs into him. Oh, Jacob Fatu showing off the Naomi moonsault. There's all this action happening, and every now and then they just come back to CM Punk just going, awkward. In no time. Match for WWE WrestleMania 41. The Usos including Sami Uso. No. Saw what was coming, knew what was happening. Roman striding out, CM Punk. Nah, mate. Nah. Versus God and Jacob Fatu. They are lining up against CM Punk. He's not going to care. It means Roman has to wait until Solo's already in the match. Punk taking his time, letting his allies regroup. Getting a toolbox. Now it's a red toolbox. He's had good times with toolboxes before. Because he bust Drew McIntyre open with it previously. And he's just hitting everyone with it. Bronson Reed didn't even go down. Kel says Punk's getting speared or Roman is getting the GTS. One of those is definitely happening. He's being a lot more careful with the toolbox this time, holding onto it with both hands. He's got the good guys back in contention, though I will say the three Usos have not stood up as of yet. Taking the time, a double knee. Jacob Fatu says no. Punk massively over-celebrated there in a way that actually isn't very him. He's not big on playing to the crowd. He never has been. So he had to overdo that one a bit. Steve says, is Punk's new gimmick some sort of deranged Pepsi drunk mechanic? Always was, mate. Always was. He likes his wrenches. He likes to tighten those screws. He likes it tight. Keeps it tight. Never let it go loose. A few small skirmishes in the ring now, but Solo Sikoa is about to join, and at that point, it does become a dominance. The new bloodline in full control until the arrival of Roman Reigns. Solo's enjoying this far too much. He's already got a win over Roman. Will he be getting a second tonight? There is a love you Solo chant. It's really just made him much more interesting. Just much more interesting. Little things like that go a long way. Everyone's getting the door in the face. They need to work on the camera angle better because they gave the game away a little bit with that one. We all know it's not going to actually hit them, but you got to be careful showing it. Oh, he's taking a chain. He's going to lock them all in. No? Okay, I stand corrected. I thought he was taking a chain to lock them all in. Evening, Dan. How are you today? You come in just as we're about to finish the show that actually should have finished 25 minutes ago. Sort of a low-down magic killer there. But Solo's just turning the knife, turning the screw. Trying to bring everyone to a level where their stamina bars are so low that Roman Reigns won't make an impact, but Roman Reigns will make an impact. We know Roman Reigns is going to make an impact. We know Bronson Reed's going to get speared out of his pants. We know how this goes. We know that multiple tables are brought into the ring. They're going to be broken. That's going to happen. I still think Jacob Fatu is going to come off the top of the cage, but Bronson Reed with that bounce, he absolutely used that rope bounce. So loves his love in life. Cal says this has been domination, but I see Roman turning into prime Roman where he destroys everyone. Yeah, Matrix of leadership and all that jazz. Cal says poor Tonga Loa is getting speared 5,000 times. What good thing has Tonga Loa done? Genuine question. Tell me anything Tonga Loa has done in this match. Is Tama Tonga okay? His left arm's not moving very well. In fact, his left arm's not moving at all. Okay, so that was what the chain was for. Am I to expect then that Roman's going to climb over and dive onto everyone? I mean, he's definitely coming in. Tama Tonga stepped into the other ring to talk to a referee. Just to recover for a moment. I don't think he's okay. OTC chant as Roman heads down. Just says, is Roman going to run to the ring or take 10 minutes? It's Roman Reigns. You know the answer to this. Tama Tonga seems to be favouring his left arm pretty heavily. Not sure how it's happened, but he stepped away to speak to referees just before Roman's cage opened. Hopefully. Nothing serious. Okay, Roman's climbing. He's gone to the wrong ring. GOD are basically punch bags, we know this. Surely Jacob Fatu's not going to be thrown away that quickly. Oh, he's not even going to try. Not even going to try. Proper Ninja Warrior style so far. Proper Ninja Warrior style. Gonna do a dive. Everyone stood there for him. See, now he's a face, he's allowed to do dives again. For a while, he wasn't allowed to do dives. He was a bad guy. Kel says, did Solo forget climbing as a thing? Of course he did. If he doesn't remember climbing, nobody can climb. Roman's in charge. His team are recuperating. He's getting everyone up for the inevitable stare down. We're about to go 5-on-5 here. Not Punk? Not Punk. He's not going to pick Punk up. Punk has to get himself up. Why you all got to do stare down? You're busy. Focus. Paul Heyman. Okay, that's a very excited Paul Heyman. Just in time for the bell to ring. Honestly, with Paul Heyman in that position, does kind of suggest they're winning. It basically comes down to if those two screw up and can't work together, the other guys will win. If Paul Heyman keeps them online, they'll be fine. There'll be no problem. That'll be that. You will notice that the Usos are lined up against God. Sami Zayn is against Bronson Reed. CM Punk is against Jacob Fatu, which leaves Roman and Solo Sikoa. The hope here, as much as anything, I'm pretty sure, is to try and get fans excited for a Roman versus Solo Sikoa full feud. Fans aren't excited about that. I'm aware that fans aren't excited about that, but WWE are trying to get them excited. We finally have a little bit of God versus Usos. Can we double splash? More height than distance, I'll say that. Cal says, do you not think they might throw Roman into the Rock Cody match instead of Solo? No. Jess says, for a guy named Solo is not by himself often. True. I always feel like they shorten his name. You know how people have nicknames like Jeffrey becomes Jeff? I think Solo is actually so long. And they shortened it to Solo. We're at that point. Punk and Roman Reigns either work together or they don't. I don't think they're going to be friends at the end of it. Either way, Solo and Jacob Fatu seem to be a pretty effective team. I don't love how that came about, but I also don't hate how that came about. Roman clearly didn't want to do it, but Solo was all over him. That might be a pin. That's not a pin. Okay. Solo's finish has been pretty well protected until that moment. That may well have been a pin, but it didn't quite get there. Cal says the tables have been in the ring a long time and still haven't been destroyed. Wait for it. So, is CM Punk going to take a receipt at some point? I think he might. I don't know what just happened, but I think Jacob Fatu massively screwed up. I think Jacob Fatu completely missed. I don't think he got the leverage he was going for. And I think he's actually hurt himself. Bronson Reed checking on him. That definitely wasn't planned. Jacob Fatu completely missed his moonsault. Didn't get the leverage he was looking for from the ropes. He is not okay. Okay, Roman has a bit of a comeback, but Bronson Reed says no. I think Jacob Fatu knew that was going to be his moment. He needed to get that low blow in. This is not landing. This is Bronson Reed being eliminated. No oh, he's going higher. Bronson Reed is going higher. He's a brave one. He's up for it. He's not hitting it. Roman's eyes are open. That is high. I'm not great with heights. I couldn't do that. Punk did not take a receipt. I think with that happening, the faces are winning this one. That's Bronson Reed out of the equation and CM Punk self-sacrifice forgiveness. I think that's Bronson Reed done for the match. I think it's Jacob Fatu done for the match, but for different reasons. Cal says CM Punk just saved his life. Absolutely. Jimmy Uso is getting the referee to check on Jacob Fatu. He still hit that super kick. He's still going. Carl says, Tom, maybe I'm overthinking, but Fatu's looked seriously hurt. I think he is seriously hurt. I don't think you're overthinking it. I think there was a mistake made. He got a little overzealous. And he's about to get eliminated from play. But it's going to take both Usos to do it. He's still hitting his spots. I've lost the feed for a moment there. He's still hitting all his spots, and you've got to give him immense credit for being tough enough to do that. That's him out of play, though. Bronson Reed and Jacob Fatu have both been eliminated from play. God both got the Uso splash. I think we are in the end game here. Carl, I believe it is, yes. He recovered from that pretty effectively. I think he might just have a bit of a dodgy knee. You're going to put Jacob Fatu through a table just to finish the job. Oh, God in play. Jimmy Uso just waiting. Just waiting. He's fine with it. And now after all that beating's happened, now he decides, Jimmy, this is the ideal time. Jacob Fatu still holding his knee. Sami Zayn says go higher. He's going higher. Because as I noticed when he landed it was awkward and he immediately reacted. He's good at no selling. He's good at no selling. That seemed, yeah, he did not seem okay. Solo Sikoa and CM Punk just held hands for a little bit. It was kind of cute. Jimmy Uso with a big spot. It's a rarity. Sami Zayn still in play. Who's there left to eliminate? Sami's just getting his guys up. Cal says even when he hurt his ankle, he still sold it. Where I think this could be serious. True. Sami's got the Usos up. Really now, there's only one person to focus on. Sami getting CM Punk up. The Usos will pick up Roman. It is 5-on-1. The heels ain't winning this one. Jay's hair has dried, which is a problem. It means this match has gone too long. It's 5-on-1 solo. It's not happening, mate. It's not happening. Logically, everyone's hitting a finisher, then Roman spearing him, and then that is that. Start with a Superman punch. Don't acknowledge him. Refuse. Just refuse. Solo refused to acknowledge Roman Reigns, and you know what? I respect him for it. Hell of a kick. Go to sleep. He's not. He did not have him. He did not have him. Spear and the cover, and that is that. Good guys win first and final. Cal says Solo ain't making it to WrestleMania. Poor guy's going to pay for them sins. Nah, I reckon he's making it. So I said for a second there, I felt sure they were all turning on Roman. Bayley says the crowd leaves happy. Steve says what a dumb finish. Disagreements there. We never get everyone agreeing. We never get everyone agreeing. The family hug. I'd imagine there's going to be a handshake now between Roman and Punk. That's not it for Solo, Steve. Come on, that was a Wargames match. It was a spectacle. The actual result does not matter at all. He could, Steve. He doesn't seem to be doing so. Tell you what though, the big news, CM Punk might be coming back. Who's seen that one coming? Jess says wrestling is so dramatic because why am I on the edge of my seat to watch two guys shake hands? Fair. Hug it out. They went straight to a Slim Jims commercial. Nah, mate, nah. Pete gives the match a 9 out of 10. Personally, I'm giving it a 7. There were some sloppy moments, particularly the Jacob Fatu botch. There was a couple of other moments there. Largely everyone hit their spots, but it was a spot fest. They made it clear what the direction was going to be. Jimmy Uso had some very good moments, but I personally, yeah. Carl says Tonga Loa was hit with a toolbox 100 times, put through a table, and that was it. Bayley gives it an 8. Leon gives it an 8. Cal gives it a 9. Watching Charles Robinson react to the finisher spam was quite interesting, I'll say that. Now, if The Rock does return at the first episode of Netflix, I'd imagine he's going to have stuff to say to Solo Sikoa, but his focus will likely still be Cody. Sami's trying to talk Roman into showing some respect. Roman's gonna. Shake hands. It's not a big ask. Maybe you should have worn some red. Roman Reigns acknowledges CM Punk, and you can see Paul Heyman in the background loving the moment. Cal says the sexual tension between these two is insane. And you know what, Cal? You are not wrong. Will CM Punk acknowledge? No, he will not. Everyone else is just laid out. Just laid out. Pyro, no rock. There we go, confirmation from Michael Cole. So look, Sikoa is still the tribal chief. Just to be fair, the Punk-Drew McIntyre feud, the entire feud was hugely sexual tension based. I've never known anyone enjoy screwing Drew McIntyre as much as CM Punk. Anyone. Because it's Survivor Series, they're making sure to take as much time as possible getting out of that ring. CM Punk's music might hit, you know? He might be there. What if he's in Chicago? Getting a hug from Paul Heyman, but Paul Heyman isn't. Paul Heyman owes CM Punk something. Mary says, who does Paul support? Everyone. Everyone. Carl says, I would love for The Rock to come back there at the end. Yeah, but to be fair, you'd probably want The Rock at every possible moment. Joe says, 10 out of 10, that match had a action magnificent. They knew exactly what they were doing, Jess. You are not wrong. Roman Reigns has his wise man. No hug. He's not that guy. But he has his wise man. OG Bloodline is fully reunited. Jimmy Uso is limping. Paul Heyman is bringing up the rear. And CM Punk is away. Yeah, Triple H isn't a big surprise guy. PLEs are no longer the main focus. TV, the Raw, SmackDown, that's the main focus. There's still scope for some. We got The Rock of Bad Blood, for example. But you know what Triple H likes? And I think this year's Royal Rumble will be very telling. Next year's Royal Rumble will be very telling as well, because I don't see many surprises there either. Nicely done there by CM Punk, just sliding up from. Yeah, if The Rock did appear while Punk was there, I would add a whole other level to it. We are done. War Games is over. It did go an extra hour compared to what they were saying it was going to go, which is frustrating, but we are where we are. It is nearly 3 in the morning. It's just gone 2:30 here. So I'm going to get myself some sleep. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who's joined us. I've been Tom Colohue. You've been fantastic, and I'll see you all very soon.